Put on some makeup.
All right, welcome everybody to our NBFL Slanderous Review. It's our season 26 draft grade review show. So, if anyone who's following the league should probably be aware, we just had a draft. Therefore, we're about to have a new season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But until then, we got to go back and look at what you did right and wrong in the draft. And boy, was there a lot of wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So I typed up a forum post that's going to go live after the show, and I did it alphabetically this time as opposed to by division. So we're just going to go down the old list A through Z. We're going to help Wog learn his ABCs along the way. It's going to be a good time.
Good luck.
So with me, of course, we've got Baz, league commissioner, coach of Houston, Asti, coach of the Icelandic Dolts. You know, he's kind of important nowadays.
Yeah.
Nelfie, coach of the ATL, and Wog, the new coach of Carolina. So we'll get to his team soon. But first up, it's another new expansion team. That's the Arizona Red Bulls. That's Klaz's new Chaos Dwarf team, moving into the NFC West, which I don't wish upon most people. You got Cattle in Los Angeles to deal with, and as Chaos Dwarves, you're going to be in for a challenge. Those are two very different styles of teams. But I like what he did in the draft. He had the number 2 overall pick in Maine, traded down to number 5 to pick up an extra pick, ended up getting a strength 5 Bull Centaur in X-Band for defense.
Yeah.
In Maine at number 5, block double AG Bull Centaur at number 5. Got some Chaos Dwarf blockers, 4 of them, and, team looks like it can be competitive relatively early.
All right.
So I gave him an A-. Baz, Asti, what did you guys think of this?
Well, I really like the Bulls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the actual blockers themselves, you go from thinking that it's the best draft ever to why is he picking multi-block?
Yeah.
What does he have grab?
Grab's fine, but
Yeah,
multi-block.
The grab blocker I'm okay with. I mean, the big thing is like he nailed his 2 most important picks, so that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are. I mean, and then I think 2 of the Chaos Dwarves, like the guard Mighty Blow Chaos Dwarf, and the 3rd expansion pool is, I mean that's what you're going to get there, and that's solid. I mean, those are the 2 normals you want.
I mean, yeah.
And then the one with grab, okay. I mean, you got Mighty Blow, you got guard, you got sidestep. It's an interesting player. But yeah, the multiple block, it's like, okay, you're basically adding 20 TV to this player that you're never going to use when they're, I mean, I guess I could check.
But you do get the skill roll on him, so you get doubles for that tasty claw or something.
I mean, yeah, but you also get a skill roll if you don't draft one.
True. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's okay that I just don't like having a dead skill on a player like that who doesn't. There's nothing that he's getting that's like making like, oh, this is a skill that I'm hardly ever going to use, but everything else is so good. It's like, well, I got 2 normals and I have a, skill 1 in 6 chance of getting claw. But overall, I mean, I'd put him, solid B plus.
Okay.
Yeah, I put a B myself purely because why would you draft the multi-block blocker before the guard sidestep one?
That is a valid point, I suppose. Order of operations does matter.
But yeah, overall, I think I don't know. I think if I'm Klaz, I'm pretty happy coming out of this. You've got the core of your team. All 4 of your drafted dwarves do have guard and mighty blow. The lack of stand firm is something I don't like.
You can't have everything out of your first draft. In general, stand firm is not a skill you see in the draft pool that often, honestly.
I mean, you could have taken a guard mighty blow stand firm instead of both Takla and McGee, and in both cases, I'd like that better, even though you're getting less skills, just because you're getting the best skills. But now McGee, I mean, he's in a division where Fend has more value than it would elsewhere, just because he's playing multiple teams that have players that he'll want to disengage from at times. But it's not bad by any means. It's just the Stanford's the area I'd be looking to add to if I was him.
That's fair. All right, so still positive reviews for Arizona in their first draft class. All right, moving on, we'll get to Nelfine pretty quickly since we're doing alphabetical order. We got the Atlatl Flechettes, which I can attempt to pronounce correctly just to make him happy. All right.
Flechettes?
Something like that.
I think that's correct.
I usually call them the Flechettis because I love messing. I love messing with Nelfine. But anyways,
all right.
Lizardmen, NFC South, and the goal is to dominate the division again, which they've done the last 2 seasons. And they didn't need a whole lot going into the draft. He had all 6 Sorai. He's got arguably the best big in the league that no one talks about. And he's created surplus value with his draft moves. He was sitting at 28. He moved down with a trade with Stim to 32, if I recall. No, Asti at 32, and then moved back up to 25 with Stim. So he moved up 3 spots for free, basically. He gained a second-round pick and then gave one up to move up 3 spots. So surplus value gave me a reason to bump his grade up from a B to a B+. Because his draft picks... I mean, draft picks are just, solid skinks. He didn't need anything in particular. He's already got like a movement skink and an AG skink. So you get an extra agility at 25, and then you get a block, tackle, kick guy at 64. So, just solid guys.
Yeah. My opinions on the trades are a little different. First of all, I'm pretty sure both these trades were made before we hit like pick 5 of the draft.
That is completely true.
And just like in principle, I think that's awful, even if they ended up being good trades.
Oh, trust me, I'll get to that when we get to Asti's pick.
But I mean, overall, it's like, okay, so yeah, he moved up 3 in the first round while dropping, 3 or 4 in the second round, which is like, that's pretty clearly value. As far as the picks go, the Garrett Gilbert, that's a pretty nice skink, and that's always what he knew, was going to be on his radar at his later pick. Angus.
I mean, I'm going to say you don't love diving catch on him, but it's free agility 4.
Well, no, it's not free agility 4. It's 60 TV agility 4 because it has diving catch. That's also on a chameleon skink, I guess.
Wait, he drafted him as a chameleon?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird. I have it listed as regular skink.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a little less than, I suppose.
For plus edge and block on a skink, eating the dive and catch is something I'd be okay with. It's like I'd fucking take strong arm, you could put multiple block on that player, and I wouldn't complain too much. But I just don't like it as a chameleon all that much. I don't think dive and catch helps on interceptions, as far as I know.
No, I don't think so.
So it doesn't really synergize. You have your plus edge, but now it's slower. Buda Chris is awesome, but he's minus AV, and his how long does he have to go? I really would have liked this as a normal skink, and it's just like the clear heir apparent ball carrier. Of course, with his skill rolls, he doesn't need one now.
Okay, you've talked me into downgrading it to a B, so I'm okay with that.
Anyway, I had it at a B minus, just because edge 4 skinks are still that good, but I think that he left some value on the table.
Okay.
See, I would have given him like a straight A if it was only his first. Like if he only picked one guy and it was Angus, I would have been like, okay, that's an amazing pick for a first round for a playoff team because it's pretty deep in the draft. I hate his second pick.
Oh.
I think it's it's such a waste. It's 90K for a kicker, essentially.
No, it's not a kicker. The kick is icing.
It's 90K for a block tackle strength 2-piece. What?
Yeah. So, to do some explanations, I've had this before. I personally think everybody should be forced to do their trades at least 10 picks ahead of their own spot. I realize that's not a rule, we could never implement it, but it's a personal rule, that's why I do it. So that's a thing, and I realize that I will lose value because of that, but I think that everybody should be doing the trades way ahead. Secondly, for the chameleon skink for Angus, that's looking forward at picking up kickoff return. Diving catch becomes much better with kickoff return.
Getting kickoff return, a legend?
No.
With the
Blood
rules
Bowl
change.
2020.
Yeah, I get it for free in 2020.
Oh,
Remember
I
they
didn't
they
know
combined kickoff return and diving catch into one skill, right? Called like on the ball or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
It's not diving catch, it's pass block and kickoff return.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, and
Chameleons.
so chameleon skink gets that. And the particular thing that came up with that, this was a game that I played somewhere else where you actively don't end under the ball because diving catch will let you move your player back an extra square and be
That's
safe
fair.
from things like a blitz war dancer or something
In any
like
case, I gave you a B+ for my draft grade.
Oh, that's very generous. Considering how
mean-
much we've talked bad about the skinks.
I thought his first pick was really, really good. So I would have given him an A, but with his second pick, I think it's a complete waste, so I give him a B+.
So the problem with the second pick, and it's like, how much do you play Lizardman? The big thing there is that it's the -2 die blitz. That's what this player is, and I really wanted Rackle, which is why I hate XCon so much.
I mean,
And there's quite a few Rackle players that all went, and if I'd had one of those available, in a heartbeat, that's what it would have been.
what?
Because -2 die Rackle skinks combined with somebody like Ludacris or Angus, you just get the ball anywhere you want, anytime you want. And that's what the player is meant to be. Kick is on there because kick with a player like Ludacris is also ridiculously good, but it's still icing. The whole purpose is to have a -2 die blitz. That's what that player is. Because
Okay.
with skinks, I mean, I've won major games with that. That's what you do, and I do that with skinks that don't have any doubles. So you put doubles on them, and they become much, much better. Doubles on skinks are gold. It's ridiculous how good they are.
It's true.
See, I was always joking that Nelfian was insane because of his naming schemes or tagging schemes in game, which he now proves by going for the -2 die blitz instead of the break tackle 2 die, cage break. Which is more typical.
You don't always have a source available to do those
And
things.
you can't invest in that now anyway with break tackle
Yeah,
dying.
true.
Yeah,
Um,
break tackle is a dead skill for Lizardman. It will never be chosen again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's gutter runners in division value to a strength 2 tackle player that there isn't in others. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it. There is a lot of TV in those two players for sure, but they both do have roles that they add to the team.
All right. Well, I think we've bashed or talked up or discussed at Laddle enough, so we can move on. But thank you for your input, Nelfine. It's good to get the coach's perspective because we're sitting here obviously with our own views of how a team should be built or should be run, and there's always different philosophies.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
All right. So moving on, the Baltimore Skavens, Uber's new Skaven team, obviously in the AFC North. So, new franchise. You've got Skaven with the formidable gutter runner position, and decided to go with a thrower in X-Pan 1. Some of the players taken above him, he may have looked at getting instead. Loved the expansion Pool 2 pick, Boomer Esiason.
Yeah,
Very good gutter runner. I really considered him last season in the Expand draft or a frog catcher, but he goes here to become a gutter runner. Didn't love the Rat Ogre pick. I looked back and there's not a ton available that's good for Skaven in the third pool, so I don't know. Guard Sandfirm's probably what you want on a Rat Ogre. I still wouldn't draft a Rat Ogre, but maybe that's just what was available. But number 7, never in Uber's dreams would he have thought that Knob Carson would fall to him at number 7. Knob Carson could have and should have been the first overall pick, and we'll get to that when we get to Chicago. But you get that player at number 7 for a gutter runner. Agility, strength, sure feet, block, sidestep. That's amazing. And then you get a very good Storm Vermin player potentially at number 39, Mighty Blow, tackle, guard. I could quibble a little bit with the first expansion pick. I think you had other options. Some people don't like even having a thrower on Skaven. That is a very good thrower. So, I don't know. I give him a B+, because Knob Carson is just excellent. Boomer's going to be great. Good blitzer. But, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you're going to have a thrower, that looks like a pretty nice thrower to have.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone helps a ton in making that pick more justifiable. Sure. One of the secrets is when I originally joined with Rats, thrower was pretty high on my list of things I wanted to draft, but it didn't quite break in a way where I could, because I was like, well, I'm never going to develop one. Mm-hmm. But it can really open things up. But it's a bit of a luxury player, but you're a team that skills quickly.
Yeah.
His 2 picks in Maine are great, both of them. Obviously, Knob Carson is. God, that's a pretty damn good gutter runner.
He's the perfect skink, and now he's an amazing gutter runner.
Yeah, and Mighty Blow, tackle, guard, blitzer, in the second round. Now you have a blitzer who can do blitzer things. That's nice. I like it a lot more than when people pick blitzers that can't do blitzer things.
Can't do anything.
And then Boomer, as you said, it's a one-turner. It opens things up so much.
Sure.
I do hate the Rat Ogre. Mainly just because, I think it's questionable if you even want one, especially in Season 1. Mm-hmm. But past that, if you do want one, I'd much rather have, if I'm not going to be being able to draft block, then I'd much rather have the chance at rolling the double, because guard Stanford's just not that much better than just straight guard anyway. But overall, I'd put this solidly B+.
I also have B+.
Okay.
For the very simple reason that all of the picks are good, but one, I would have taken that thrower as a gutter runner because AG6.
No.
I would have.
No,
I'm not saying it's correct, but I would have.
AG6 is going away in the rule set anyway.
Yeah, but
and accurate's going to become
a waste,
pretty useless on a gutter runner after this season as well.
That's fair. In any case, I echo my co-host's thoughts that the Rat Ogre is completely useless. It's a very strange pick because why?
Yeah, I think I didn't have one until my 3rd season when I was already up in TV quite a bit. Now he's starting at a much higher TV than I did. That's for sure. It's almost impossible to start anywhere near what I did. Considering I had no idea what I was doing, and I was a 1670 TV team for my first game in this league.
Those were the days.
Worked out reasonably well, I guess. But yes, I just don't love the Roger Season 1. I don't think Rel has one now, but I don't think he had one to start. But again, like I think it's reasonable to have one. I just don't know that I'd want to spend one of my draft picks on it. I mean, I'm just eyeballing.
Pool 3's bad
That's
for
fair.
Skaven though. There's like
Yeah, but I mean,
nothing.
you can get a block guard line rat is better. You know, like
Agreed.
Yeah.
it's not good, but like it's better. And
All right.
you know, I mean, I'm just kind of looking through it. The wrestle tackle finned line rat. I mean, that sure, but again, it's like quibbling over his pool 3 pick. I mean, that's not. You know, you're not making or breaking your draft with your third pool expansion pick, and you got 3 potential game winners outside of it and a super functional blitzer. So like any problems I have with the Rat Ogre are more than outweighed by how much I like the rest of it. And 3 of those picks I think were clearly the best option on the board. With the thrower, you could argue something else would make sense, but I would have strongly considered it myself. So I can't blame him.
All right. Well, that's enough of the Skaven. I do love his new logo, by the way. But
Yes.
moving forward, we've got the Buffalo Kills. So that's Jeffro's Demons of Corn team stuck in the AFC East, and their only goal for this season is to spill blood for the Blood God. I don't expect anything from this team, honestly. So the draft needs a Herald and 2 Bloodletters, and so I just put stuff that kills the opponent. So decides to trade down again, as Jeffro has been wont to do. Ends up getting a Strength 4 block tackle pit fighter at 18 after trading down. And then takes a swing at a sure hands, accurate, strong arm, kickoff return Bloodletter for the hell of it. And then just a kick block scale pit fighter. So I think Heralds are probably the key to a good Demon of Corn team. So either there weren't any good ones available, or I don't know. I mean, I don't expect much from Demons of Corn at this point. I've had my fill of them at this TV. He's just taking players to have some fun and then switching in Blood Bowl 2020. I just gave him a B. You know, not much to discuss here.
Gave him a B?
Yeah, I have this one down at a C minus.
C minus.
Okay. Just because, like, okay, I mean, plus strength block tackle, solid. But like, when I'm looking at his 2 second-round picks, I'm questioning the trade back at all.
Yeah, what?
And I think Brock Hurd's gonna be fun. I mean, you know, and Jeffro is a fun coach. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna find all the enjoyment he can out of this team, but I would have trouble doing that. Yeah, I you know, I'm not looking and thinking I need to turn one of my positionals into a thrower here.
And even not a great one.
I mean,
accurate strong arm, sure, but no pass, no agility 4.
I actually dislike every single one of his picks.
How do you dislike the guy at 18?
What? It's plus strength block tackle.
It's basically an Ulfin whatever that you have.
Yeah, with no guard, no mighty blow, and no hope. It's gonna stay there forever.
That's not his job.
He's tried a lot of the guard and mighty blow stuff, and it hasn't been working for him. I like the first one. I feel plus strength. With all the frenzy you have on that team, you need a plus strength somewhere
to start the
to
turn.
Open things up, to give yourself a way to start a turn sometimes.
But
when
that's
you're just
so weak. Like, Taylor just doesn't really do anything, and that's just a problem I have with a lot of plus strength linemen in general.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually change how the game is played. They just stick around, costing 50k TV more.
Yeah, I think that we're talking about a specific team that I mean, I'm just looking at what went after, and it's like I'm not
seeing much better.
I'm not sure what you would have wanted him to jump on after that. And now, if you wanted to say maybe, I mean, even the stuff that went between him and there, I mean, there's definitely some good things there. I mean, the pick Monona made it 13. as an example. But I don't know if he would have needed a more of a carrier type. But I don't know. I think that we're talking about a team that. I mean, I haven't played fucking Corn, man. I don't know.
They're not
There's
good.
one person here who
They're
has.
just not good. I'm sorry.
There's one person, you know, we'll pretend like they have. But to me, it just seems obvious. Like, fuck, I have no good options. Hey, this guy can at least give me a 2-die, and then I can wait 15 seconds before I have to think about all my bad options again.
Something like that.
All right.
So
well, basically, this team has no hope because it has no guard and no mighty blow. Core Dynasty. So let's just move on. Buffalo's going to try to do what they can this season.
Yeah, it only has 6 guard and 6 mighty blow. I'm really not sure how it's going to function.
I mean, I gave it a D+ for the draft.
Okay. Baz, what did you give it again? Like a straight C or something?
Sure.
Do not call me. Okay.
I mean, Baz said C-, and then you said B, so one of us is in the doldrums.
Yeah.
I mean, B's probably like I'm probably overly generous when I'm typing these things up, but regardless,
yeah,
let's just move on.
I'm deciding all my grades in the moment here, so I'm sure I'm going to look at some of them and be like, well, I don't actually. That's not what I actually think.
That's not what I actually think. Not that. All right, we'll move forward to another team that celebrates the Chaos Gods and all that dark stuff. That is, of course, the Cattle Chaos, who kind of had an outlier of a season last year, is what they're hoping at least. Draft needs, it's not super bleak on the team. They need an agility beastman and a reliable minotaur if there is such a thing. So, number 13, Menos sits there. I know he was looking to move up, but eventually just, sits there and lets the block sure hands plus strength, sure feet, sidestep guy fall to him. It's not a perfect carrier, but strength 4, sure hands, I mean, it's serviceable, and at worst, it's a good defensive annoyance piece. Now, 45, I was really hoping this player would fall to me. Block, MA, dodge at 42 SPPs. That's a very nice beastman. You throw tackle on him maybe, or maybe you get lucky with a skill roll. Very nice pick at 45. So I gave him an A-.
Okay. Well, I very much agree that his first round pick is, I mean, actually I disagree. I think his first round pick is a steal. He got really high value. The problem comes from, I looked at his entire team, and he already has a faster, sure hands guy. So the guy he just picked is kind of like a backup carrier. And also, I kind of hate his second round pick, because it just puts more TV into a player which probably won't even be on the pitch.
What would you
he's going to put that on the line of scrimmage?
I mean, you can't pass up movement when you're a slow movement 6-based team, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I agree with this particular line of complaint. I mean, I'm just eyeballing his team, and I mean, I can pretty easily see a lot of players that are on the bench before that one.
Yeah, fair. In any case, I gave him a B.
Okay.
For my draft grade.
But yeah, I mean, you look at it, I don't mind him having to have the 2 different sure hands. I think that's,
I think
really
you need 2 carriers on a Chaos team, because if the first one goes out, I mean, you're screwed.
Something like that.
I don't love sure hands as a skill in general, but like, I don't think it's a problem on either of those. I will say I mean, both the doubles, while they're not dodge, they're solid if you have. I mean, for a player that can do what they want to do, and I do think sidestep can do some interesting things in your defensive formation. So I think that's a really strong pick, and I think that the second round pick's fine. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that player lasted that long.
Yeah.
If I did not make a certain trade, there's a really good chance it would have been picked at 24.
That's fair.
But
I considered him at 24, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. I mean, this is the last stat we saw go off the board. all of its skills synergize. There's no, I mean, you don't know what bothers me more than anything is it's like throwing TV away on a skill that you're just not going to use. And, all of those are going to use and they're going to work together. And there's enough directions he can take it. Obviously, with another stat, it becomes really interesting with but there's enough good normals on Chaos to make it work. I will say it is right now, it's a lot of TV for a player that doesn't do any of your roles particularly well, but it's also at 42 SPP. And while he has other places to try to put the MVPs as well, I mean, whatever he takes at 51 is going to make it a pretty damn good player. So I'd be with X here. I think I'd have it as an A-.
A-. All right. So now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. That's Wog's new team, the Carolina Pythons. Pythonies? Why is there 2 S's? Is that trying to confuse me, or am I just missing something?
No, it's because snakes tend to elongate their S's.
That's fair. All right. There's a really funny meme someone posted here the other day with his logo at the center of it, and I'm not going to go search for it right now, but...
Yeah, no, I remember.
It was really good. So, the Carolina Python is Dark Elves, coached by Wog, NFC South. And there's a very good chance he could become the second best team in the division very early if he plays this right. And I absolutely love his draft class. Wog knocked it out of the park. A bit fortuitous when not one, but 2 teams passed on Vin Riddick as a blitzer, or I think he was blitzer / skilled. I don't remember what it is. But Wog just, lucks into getting this amazing player in X-Pan 1. In round 2, he gets one of my old players, just a very solid Dark Elf blitzer. Dodge, tackle, guard, sidestep. Gets a block lino in pool 3. It's perfect value for what you're going to find. Number 14 sits there. And at the time, we were kind of like, this is a bit of a reach. I think there was a player on the board that we thought would go to Wog instead, but he goes with the block, Mighty Blow, skilled player in the Witch Elf. And while this is not affected by the grade, there's the... Thank you, Dutch, for that image. He did roll plus strength on it, which doesn't get factored into the grade, but that's an amazing, obviously, luck to get that. And then in the second round, which I didn't put the pick for some reason, Dodge, Guard, Stand Firm on a Blitzer. So 3 Blitzers, a Guard Lino, and a Witch Elf with Mighty Blow, and now Lux into plus strength. So that is a hell of a draft. I give him an A. And here's the glorious image that someone posted the other day for how the NFC is going to treat Wog and his new team.
Yeah, I mean, I have this as an A+. He had an uncanny ability to pick what I would have picked in his shoes time and time again.
No.
But now the Witch I would have gone in a different direction for the Witch. I would have gone with the
Tackle, guard plus AG?
Yeah, as a blitzer.
Yeah, that was a nice player.
But if you wanted a Witch, that was the best Witch on the board there, and you already had locked in a couple guard, including, and I mean your blitzer core was already strong, and then obviously he was able to get another guard in the back half. So I thought that the Witch pick was solid. I mean, I would have rather, in his shoes, traded back a few spots.
I think he wanted to, and I'm not sure people were willing to, if I recall.
Well, I think Gark pulled the trigger with Dutch Life.
Mm-hmm.
Would Gark trade up to 16? And I think Gark would have been fine trading to Wog, but I don't think that they figured that out.
Maybe
but
Wog
overall, I
didn't
mean, I
want to
think
move
it's
all the way back there, but yeah, go on.
There isn't a single wasted skill on any of these picks. Everything works together. Well, you have, I mean, obviously Vin Riddick's absurd, just absolutely absurd. I mean, that there's your game winner. Then you've got the 2 support blitzers around them. One was sidestep, one was stand firm. And then the Witch, I mean, it rolling plus strength, but like that skill roll, I mean, that's what it's there for, right? It's like, okay. And on a Witch, it's like 10 out of my 36 options is something cool because I'm going to take any stat and Jugs is awesome.
Juggernaut, yes.
So I'm happy whatever pops. And if not, you just take tackle and it's still good, which obviously, I mean, getting a Mighty Blow tackle player is not value by any means, considering where some of them went. Of course, if I didn't trade up, there was a good chance that that was the other thing that I would have been looking in the first round. I would have picked something like 30 picks before it actually went. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm starting a Dark Elf team, I'm extraordinarily happy. But the big thing is it's just getting Riddick and that makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, I personally gave him an A. I was really close to giving him an A plus, and I would have given him an A plus if he picked a plus AG tackle guard blitzer instead of the witch.
Yeah, or the plus edge guard, where you're dropping tackle off if you want the chance at more stats. I think both those are better. But I think the witch is solid. I don't think it's great value for the pick that he picked at, but I think that there's a pretty good argument that it was the third best on the board.
That's fair
for him anyway.
Yeah.
Just because I wouldn't have wanted to invest in a statted line elf, not in season 1.
All right, so we've done our fawning over Wog's new lineup, but now the real discussion begins. The Chicago Beards, the Dwarves, Dr. Poods, NFC North. His season outlook is to find stuff to complain about and write in the Book of Grudges, Poods edition.
I mean, there is nobody in the league who will fulfill their outlook better than these Dwarves then.
No. First pick in the main draft, much discussion, goes with Seth B. from Ball State, plus strength block, plus strength sidestep tackle. We already talked about how Knob Carson was on the board, who lasted number 7, who I think would have been my pick. There's a player we'll get to later who went number 3, Paul Bunyan.
Yep.
And where was he? Plus AG tackle, plus MA mighty blow, potentially as a dwarf blitzer. Speed is your biggest weakness on dwarves, and getting, I believe, what would be movement 7 blitzer with agility 4 and tackle, I think would have been a huge boon. Obviously, Poods decides to go with Seth, and I mean, a strength 5 ball carrier, it's hard to argue against that, but I don't know. I think I would have personally gone with one of the other two. But goes with the Troll Slayer, and I really kind of wanted this skill set, so he took this from me. Darn you, Poods. Early in the second round. And then his 3 expansion picks. Taking 3 Longbeards, albeit, solid ones. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, he's got no blitzers drafted. And no agility drafted for dwarves.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at the total package and how it came out, there's a lot to like here for sure. I mean, he obviously had a plan of wanting to come in low, which he is.
Yeah.
Your Longbeards, I mean, they're arguably your best player.
Yeah.
I mean, they're arguably better than your positionals anyway. And they skill slower. It's going to be easier for him to find touchdowns on the blitzers. And I care less about Mighty Blow than the blitzers personally. I mean, because they don't come much.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think the expansion picks make sense in that aspect. Now, if drafting something with some more agility, I mean, yeah, definitely covering your weaknesses makes sense. I have this at a B plus.
Okay.
But I mean, the big thing with Seth B is he is. I'm not looking at him as a primary carrier. I'm looking at him as this foundational piece of my position on both sides of the ball, like of the structure that you have to build as dwarves because everyone has to be in the perfect place that can carry when needed. And I think it's going to be hell to deal with.
That's fair. Basti?
Well, I gave him an A minus mostly because I spend the entire draft whispering sweet nothings into his ear and telling him which players to pick. I agree with every single one of his pick. I think I would probably have drafted something similar. Though the reason I gave him an A minus is I think he missed out on a couple of skills I would have preferred to have. For example, taking LB over like a fanned stand firm guard mighty blow longbeard.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
is
those are good skills.
yeah, I mean he loses the tackle though, which puts him at 31 SPPs. So I would have gone for other picks, but A minus.
Well, he loses tackle on the one he picked as well.
I mean,
that's
yeah,
what
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he drops to 43 SPP, so he's only 8 away from his next skill.
It's the number you're away from your next skill, so it's 43.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't love the Troll Slayer. That's the one that I liked less.
Man, I love that throw.
I mean, I know you do, but that's
extra movement and Juggernaut. I mean,
it's
I mean, I take Juggernaut first on Troll Slayer sometimes.
No, I don't mind the I don't mind the Troll Slayer. It's just not what I would have picked. There were players I would have been more interested in.
More Longbeards.
I do think if you were going to take a Troll Slayer, that was pretty obviously the best Troll Slayer option and had been for quite a while. So like you're real happy with the pick. That's just the one that I wanted to made. The rest, I mean, the only thing that I would have thought about was picking a true carrier instead of Goodman Ebby, but drafting 2 runners with your top 2 picks is that really where you want to be putting all of your free SPP?
Maybe.
And that does have a good point. I mean, in that division, Jugs is probably going to have more value than normal because they're stand firm all over the place.
Yep.
And wrestle on the apes on key players.
Yeah. Also, apparently Poos hates Surefeed, so that's one reason he didn't take Nom Carson. But all right, to each their own, I suppose. But we're gonna need to move on because otherwise we'll be here for 4 hours at this rate. So next on our list, I mean, I love you guys, but 4 hours. Ugh.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Bedlam. That's Malcor's Chaos team in the AFC North, and their biggest rival Pittsburgh kind of got shafted a bit in the playoffs. So Cleveland's got a real good chance to become the team on the block.
I mean,
they didn't
also
need a whole lot.
The rest of the division's 2 new teams as well, so they're going to be coming in big.
Yep. So they can look for some guard support beastmen. Some extra movement is always nice. So their 2 picks, they're pretty solid players. I like them. They got a 4-skill defensive beastman who's very close to another skill, and then just a solid block guard tackle beastman midway through the second round. So I tagged him with the B+.
I hate this draft.
Okay.
I have been on record saying I don't understand Malcor's drafting philosophy because, in my opinion, if you're picking into this division of yours, those are not the players you want to have.
The division's changed a little bit.
Changed. Now there's Skaven and Tomb Kings?
Yeah.
We lost dwarves and
Dark Elves.
Dark Elves, and I mean, it's also, I mean, the bigger thing. I mean, well, let's be honest. Dunking on Malcor's draft and then being proven wrong by the season he has become a tradition.
Yeah,
correct.
So we can definitely continue to do that, but he doesn't really have much to look for right now.
No, the team's pretty solid.
I mean, the main thing I'd look to replace would have been the draft pick that we didn't like last season. But that obviously is not gonna happen. So let's just ignore that. and look at it, and it's like, okay, I mean, trading back or trading up definitely seems like better, but I don't know that he would have ever really had the option. So
And I just really dislike both of his picks because I don't think it changes the way his team plays, like at all.
yeah, but you don't need to.
And I don't think, like, if I'm playing against him, I don't think I care that he has either players, and they're so high in team value. They're just so high.
Wog has a good point. Break tackle and the new rule set. It's going to be better.
Sure.
All of a sudden, that pick looks good. He knew it in advance. I don't know. I mean, a block tackle guard beastman in round 2. I mean, I don't see how there's anything you can complain about with that.
No.
Yeah, I hate tackle.
Why?
All right.
Just pick a block guard guy instead of block guard tackle. You have like 15 tackle and growing into orcs.
I'm not sure there was just a block guard blitzer available as a thing, but
he has 4 tackle, including that player.
Yeah.
Including the 2 players who drafted. So he had 2 tackle on the roster before his pick.
Yeah, but if you're gonna pick a tackle in the first round as a ball hawk, which is clearly like going after the ball and like a drop back kind of player, why would you take a tackle guard? Like,
I
I
mean,
just really don't like it.
I can somewhat understand where you're coming from, where like but I'm looking and was there another option? Because the block guards I'm seeing are strength players. They weren't blitzers. So if you wanted guard, you had to take that at that point.
I mean,
all right. So
that's also
just give me your grades. We're gonna move on. We can sit here and quibble about tackle forever.
C minus.
Okay.
As I said, I hated him.
All right.
I'm at a B minus because I think the second pick's great. The first pick is a functional player that he already has, and so I don't know that he really needs 2 of.
I mean, more defense, I guess. All right, so more dwarves on the block next, apparently. So we're going to get them out the way, thankfully. But this time, it's OTS's dwarves from Dallas, the Crowbar, NFC East. It's finally time for them to take the next step. Last season, they were the 7th team in the conference at the end. So, with our new playoff rules, they would be in the playoffs this time. So if they can replicate that or do better, that'd be good for them. They need a second runner. Their second runner rather, died late last season. There is minus AV on a blitzer. I mean, he's a nice blitzer, but if you can find somebody to replace him, that wouldn't be a bad option. So seeing the board break the way it did, he moves up from 18 to 10 and ends up taking the second runner. Easy from Berea, 72 SPPs, block, strong arm, agility, and strength. So now it's extra agility, extra strength, block, sure hands built in, strong arm. I mean, not great, but if you're desperate and late in the game, you got a little bit of extra juice on your throw. I mean, it's fine. So I gave him an A minus because that's exactly what he needed, and he went up and got it.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you to throw long bombs to your long beard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, plus strength and plus edge on the same player is almost always good.
Yeah.
Right? Block's good. It's not like runners have a ton of normals that I'm just so sad I can't take.
I mean, yeah, you go block and then kick off return, so.
I mean, sure. I mean, I feel like the disrespect to Hail Mary pass there just hurts me.
Something like that.
There's a Hail Mary pass player on the board who I think went undrafted, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, the trading up was makes sense. I mean, he's dwarves. I don't think he really is going to get value deep in the second round. The player he traded up for makes sense. Yeah, there's a dead skill there, but that doesn't mean that player wasn't arguably the best on the board.
Agreed.
I mean, maybe you consider the plus strength player Minnow picked, but you don't really need a primary carrier, right? while this kind of lets you do a little bit more. So I'd put this one just a solid A.
Hey,
Um,
okay.
I mean,
I
he even
minus.
adds 4 players who can catch. So like the strong arm, it's not, it's
You may use
not
it twice
multiple
this season, and if it helps you win a game, I mean, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And this is kind of the season, right? I mean, it's Gark's changing teams.
Fool's
got a
coming
new
in with a
IL
new
team.
team. This is the
you know.
time. All right, Asti, what's your grade?
A minus.
A minus. Okay, so we all like or love the dwarves.
Yes.
Pick, not dwarves themselves, of course. I mean, ugh. All right.
Very much agreed.
I love dwarves.
Anyways, something we can all agree on. Lizards.
Incorrect.
I don't know that I agree on lizards.
The Denver Broncos, that's J-Mon's Lizard team in the AFC West, and their goal, after progressively getting further and further every season, it seems, is to finally win the AFC. And to do that, they need to draft one Saurus and just any decent skink, really. So, in the end, he gets a decent skink, block plus strength, late in the first round. And then in the second round, like late in the second round, like 4 picks to the end, gets a guard, mighty blow, break tackle Saurus, who's 4 SPPs away from block, hopefully. So I gave him an A.
That's cringe. I gave it a D. I hate
Sorry.
I hate the skink. I hate the no block Saurus. I
It's
just
4
think,
SPPs away.
yeah, roll the dice. If you don't get the MVP on that guy for like 3 games and you play like an actually important game and your Saurus doesn't have block, oh well. Also,
I mean, not everybody starts with block Asti. I'm sorry. It's just something you have to get used to.
what's the obsession with going from strength 2 to strength 3 and paying a whole player's worth in TV for that? Yeah, sure, you have a strength 3 skink now,
Also
but
block.
also block, but it's 130k.
But teams can't just automatically 2-die that thing with basically every player in Blood Bowl.
I mean, any blitzer type is seeing that skink and he's like, oh boy, it's a free hit. My Ulfs don't care.
I mean,
My Berserkers don't care. They got plus strength.
well, not everybody's that fortunate, so
So-
what? It's a good skink.
I'm kind of in the middle on this one, which it seems like going to happen a lot. But I have
Apparently.
this one as a B minus. Now with the pick at 61, it's like, okay, you're picking at 61. I mean, this isn't a situation where you're not drafting a usable player. He's a bit of a project, but it's the 61st pick in the draft, right?
I mean,
And
there's a block
he's
guard
for-
guy available, block guard, break tackle, but I mean, he's right on the cusp of being like perfect outside of having break tackle for next season.
Yeah, I mean,
Next
and that's
season.
one of the issues is, he's both a project and he's kind of becomes a 1-season player because of the rule change coming.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these I'm like tempering my grade somewhat because the rule change, but I don't necessarily know that everyone's completely aware of what's coming there. But I mean, I think it's fine. I probably would have gone with both the block guard and the mighty blow guard grab may have grabbed me more, but those are all kind of the same value. The skink, it's just I don't like plus strength skinks, man. I just don't. I don't think they're good. I don't take plus strength on skinks.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Unless you have agility first.
No, absolutely. Fuck no, I'm not taking it after.
Okay.
I'm less likely to take it then because block and trend are just better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, it has a little more value in this league just because the TVs we're at, but I don't know. It's a fine player. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's bad. I mean, it's still I mean, it's a 3-strength blodger that's 8 MA. It can definitely do some things for you. It can carry the ball if your carrier's out for whatever reason. But I just think that there were definitely directions late second round I would have rather gone.
All right, SD, what was your official grade again? Like a D?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess we all have our, agreements and disagreements. So
I just hate plus strength on skinks.
all right, that's fair. I mean, I had a skink with 4 stat increases, and none of them were plus strength, so I just didn't have to make that choice, I suppose.
Yeah, like the very next pick was a plus edge diving tackle player by Gru that I would have liked better as a skink.
We're going to get to that in 2 teams because I have many words about that one. But before that, we have to get to Detroit. The Lionels, coached by Dash, NFC North, and only one thing left for them to do, and that's to finally win the Super Bowl. They were in it this year and didn't quite go their way. They do need a defensive bull centaur. They lost Ye Old Stoneface was a draftee they had. It was a very good player for them, but he got during the season. They also need 1 blocker. So to that effort, sitting at 31.
Wait, they need 2 blockers.
Did they? Whatever.
Yeah.
He gets a block, dodge, skill, bull centaur at 31, and then the second to last pick in the draft gets wrestle, dodge, tackle, and hobgoblin. So, I gave him a B. Bull centaur solid. You lock in dodge for a double skill. You have a free skill available. It certainly doesn't fill a defensive role immediately. I mean, if you get tackle on him, maybe, but eventually you get break tackle, then he starts to become something. So, he's functional now. You get a hobgoblin who does defensive things. I gave him a B.
All right. I love the bull centaur pick.
Okay.
I think it's perfect for what Dash is trying to do, which is stay low and stay mean.
Mm-hmm.
Saying this, I hate the hobgoblin
for
pick.
that same reason, yeah.
You have 2 rookie blockers.
No, he doesn't. He has 1.
I think he had 1, and 1 was just like guard, right?
No, he was one who was already at guard. So yeah, I get okay. Like it's effectively the same thing. But once again, Asti, sit and look. It's the 63rd fucking pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Tell me what blocker you're taking.
Like, unironically?
Yeah, give me one.
Okay, 1 sec.
Okay, so just for
I would
reference,
take Guard Stanford and Blitzer.
blockers are blitz and strength category.
No.
Okay, yeah, I would have too.
Oh, Dan F. from Ball State, guard Stanford. I mean, yeah, that's a solid player.
With Chaos Board, though, could you make the argument that getting the spin for the double?
No. What?
But he has 4 experienced blockers and then 1 with guard. Like, you can afford to roll with a rookie, hopefully get claw on a double, and then go from there.
Yeah, as in, you have a rookie with guard. Now you're gonna hunt for a double in his next pick. And if he gets it, you need to feed him until he gets Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I have this as a... I had this one at A- because I think that first pick was really good.
Yeah, first pick, right.
And the second pick, while I mean, it's once again, I mean, it's the 63rd pick. There's only so much there, and it's a useful hobgoblin, and I don't foresee Dash coming in, at some absurd TV here, right? Like, I don't know that 70 TV is going to kill him. Like some of the others we've looked at where they're taking some stuff that's bloating them up, and they're looking like, oh, they're 2,600, they're 2,700 now, and they're giving up wizards to really strong teams. I mean, Dash is gonna. I don't know how many teams is he gonna play this season that's gonna have a wizard.
Like 1.
It's true.
So I don't know. I think you could have justified replacing the guard with a guard Stanford. I mean, it's kind of boring, but like that. I'm not saying that's not better, but you're not. I mean, you're getting what 7 SPP for that, basically.
Nothing. Were you saying something?
Yeah. See, every time I meet Dash, his team has beat me, and I complain about it very vocally, and so I'm convinced that Hobgoblin pick was was specifically because that's what I was going to pick with number 16.
That's fair. I gave it a B minus, by the
B
way.
minus. Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right, so some pretty okay and whatever reviews for Dash's picks. All right, so moving on, the team that we all. I'm not sure what our feelings for this team is, because I think we all want to see Gru do well with Simeon, but we also don't want to see Gru do well.
Correct.
Because we're tired of Gru just whooping all of our asses. So the green Banana Grabbers from the NFC North, and I mean, their one goal is to grab the Super Bowl trophy. They need one chimp who starts with Wrestle, maybe replace the minus AV Gorilla, albeit a good player. And we do need to note that these sneaky grabbers stole Jamon's pick at number 61. It was clearly Jamon's pick on the board. Somebody in chat, and I legitimately forget who, said it was tag Gru, hey, it's your pick. Mistakenly, I'm assuming. And Gru went ahead and picked, and then Jamon, demanded apologies, gift baskets of fruit, and admission that apes weren't as cool as lizards, and there's a huge list of stuff, and I'd love to post it, but we're busy. So regardless, first pick of the draft at number 30, which broke my heart, took the diving tackle plus AG guy as a chimp, so it's going to have Wrestle AG diving tackle. I really wanted to, but I didn't expect that player to fall to me in the second round, because I would love to snag that as Frog Blitzer, because they already have diving tackle, and I just steal the plus agility. Late in the draft, with the stolen pick, he takes block, accurate, strong arm as the monkey thrower called an orangutan or whatever it is. So, I gave him a D plus for personal reasons, because I really would have liked to have that player that he took at 30. But somebody who's more objective, feel free to chime in on the draft grade.
Yeah, I gave it a B minus purely because I think the chimp pick is very functional. I don't like diving tackle on it, and I don't really like the thrower. So both kind of meh picks to me. So B minus.
B minus.
I'm fine with the thrower. I mean, the player starts with strong arm, so you're really just drafting block and accurate.
Exactly.
But again, it's back of the second round. How much really is there? That's going to move the needle. So I think it's fine, especially because I do think that from what I've seen and the little I've done with apes, I do think that they need
thrower,
a credible passing threat. And so just having a second one on the team could be useful. It lets him put Aaron Jones in harm's way a little bit more. As far as the first pick, I mean, it's plus edge. Plus edge is good, man, especially when you're getting it that late. And I'm just hold on. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe there's I don't know that there was a truly better option as a chimp. I mean, Gru can also afford. He can afford projects. He just can.
True.
I also have this one as a B minus.
All right.
Moving on to one, the only.
For some reason, we have not one, not two, but three teams from your division coming up next.
One after the other.
Yeah. So alphabetically, we have.
I'm pretty sure the some reason is because of the alphabet.
Yeah. The Houston Treants. That's Baz Akastine's Wood Elf team from the South, and their goal for the season is to go undefeated and /or die trying, because Baz doesn't believe he should ever lose. He needs a war dancer, maybe a catcher, maybe a stud thrower if that's the way he wanted to go. He did trade up from 24 to 19, ends up taking plus AG block guard as a catcher, and so I gave him a B plus, and I already wrote in A plus plus for Baz because I know that's what he's going to give himself.
No, it's not.
Oh,
it's not that far off, but no, I just have it as an A minus because the way the draft broke. Well, let me check and make sure that this is true.
Nelphine,
Never mind.
Think about it though. You leap or dodge, I guess dodge in this case with that catcher, agility 5 guard. Then you leap in with the strength 4 war dancer. Boom, balls down, game's over.
See, all right, now I'm gonna have to be a dick because Nelfin's comment.
Yeah, Nelfine's comment just doesn't make any sense.
Guard strength 2 players bad. No, guard is one of the things I most want on a catcher. I want it much more than anything else. The trade is the question, and that's why I went with myself as an A++. I mean, looking at what I could have gotten at, but
It's not a project player. It's a perfect player already. It's Blodge guard plus AG.
Like, no, it doesn't. It's taking sidestep next. But
Yeah,
I mean, leap's nice, but when you have agility 5 dodge, you could probably get there. I mean, leap is nice.
Won't even take leap.
Anyway, I have it as an A- because the trade, I may have lost value on the trade up, but it's 100% what I wanted because there's absolutely nothing you want more in Blood Bowl than plus edge, block, and guard on a Wood Elf catcher or a gutter runner.
Agreed.
I mean, that's kind of what you need.
I gave it an A. The only reason I didn't give it an A+ is because of the trade up, which I think against the way like Wood Elves tend to crumble, especially Bazax, only picking one player is.
I mean, hey, one player's fine.
Look, you've got agility 5 guard assist player. You've got the leaping strength 4 war dancer. You've got a wizard every game because his TV is so low. That's the formula.
You got 2,400.
You're what?
Yeah, his team is 2,400.
I'm Wood Elf, man. Now, by game 5, I'll be like 1,900.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so for the most part, we love the.
But yeah, no, I mean, I got to be dinged because I did not have a good grasp on how the draft was going to play out.
I mean, I will get to the slide pick. I wanted that player bad.
And you traded him to me.
True.
So I don't know how bad.
But we'll get to that. I'm saying like I don't think that player would have lasted 5 picks.
No, I don't either. But I think that I could have gotten a plus MA block catcher at my pick, and then a mighty blow tackle war dancer with my second, and I come out ahead there of where I did. But I probably would have taken the mighty blow tackle war dancer at 25, and then felt like a dumbass when I got to 50 whatever, and it was
still
the other one.
Okay. I mean, that's the draft. You can never predict what 32 different people are going to do because we're all kind of stupid in one way or another.
You're all insane.
All right. Speaking of insanity, the Icelandic Dolts. That's Astaflix's Norse team, and their only goal for this season is to mention the fact that they're defending Super Bowl champions as often as possible.
Hey, we've got that shit trademarked.
Yeah. Their draft needs are minimal at best. Maybe replace the minus AG Ulf just because you can. And so, as we alluded to earlier, SD trades up from 32 to 28. Not when it's pick number 28. Not when it's pick number 24. Not when it's pick number 12. It's probably like pick 3. And he just moves up. Moves up 4 spots.
Something like that. I was like, hey, does anyone want to trade down?
If you just waited, Stim, for example, wanted to trade back from 25. You could have moved up to 25, albeit it probably doesn't matter. You might have taken the same player.
Yeah, I was taking that player.
So in the end, it probably doesn't matter. But trading up early is dumb. I know Nelfine has his thoughts about how people should all be on the same playing field and have to trade up blind. But regardless, great player for Norse lineman. Guard, mighty blow. You didn't need anything. It's fine. I gave it a C+ just because of draft value and surplus value and the lack thereof. So, it's your team's fine. Obviously, you've done great with them. So, C+.
I gave my grade a B purely because like there's no other player that my team needs.
Right.
3.
Yeah, I mean, I have it as an A- because again, like. Before the draft, that's who he'd have circled as what he'd want, and then he got it, and I don't like it, so therefore it must be good.
Also, one thing I want to mention, if you're one of those people that ask me, hey, why didn't you take the plus strength guy over that? I don't know how to tell you this, but plus strength is not good on a raw lino
Oh yeah, you plus strength did go the pick after.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
yeah,
really don't.
I'd rather you have plus strength.
Exactly.
Which means the guard mighty blows better. But anyways, so the third team in your division in a row, the Jacksonville Jordals, MRT's legendary, infamous high elf team. Their goal is to recover mentally and physically from whatever the fuck happened to them last year. Their draft needs is all. Not because they're a new expansion team, but because they were just simply beat to shit. They need 2 blitzers, at least 2 catchers, and because he never traded down, I don't know how active MRT was in the trade market, he got 2 very good players. Like, Dennis Flash Gordon is the perfect catcher for MRT, except doesn't have sidestep yet, but he will. And then the rest will strip all sidestep tackle. Great defensive catcher for exactly what he wants to do. Great picks. You're going to start the season, though, with no experienced blitzers. They're both rookies. I mean, he may just rate rolls plus strength on both of them, so I don't know.
No, he's already made his rolls, so we can see all that.
But just the point...
Okay. I'm sidetracking this for just a second. He took Frenzy first on the line elf.
he saw what Astaflix did last season and said, I need more Frenzy.
Also, his thrower has nerves of steel for skill.
Oh my god. All right. MRT, good MRT.
Anyway,
the players are great. I think he should have traded down at least once. I don't know. Great player, so I gave him a B+. I just think your team needed so much that trading down was probably the right move.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it's hard to grade him because I knew what he was taking with his first pick before the draft even started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Like we all did. I think that I would have rather had the pick that went 2 after his than his, as you could probably imagine, as I picked it. But it's still very good, and for the way MRT plays, it's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. I mean, that's a really functional player in the second round. Like, if he skilled a catcher with 4 skills naturally, those may be the 4 he'd take.
No, he would take Frenzy and Juggernaut.
Not for MRT, but like a more normal elf coach.
Yeah.
Well, no, you wouldn't take Strip Ball. You'd have Dodge. The Strip Ball is kind of but overall, it's good. And MRT gets in so many broken plays, so I'm going to have it as a B+ as well.
B+, yeah.
Yeah, I have it as a B+.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that MRT deserved what he got last season, and we should wish for more bad things to him.
Agreed.
Okay.
No, I'm wishing my bad things in a different direction this season.
Fair enough.
You gotta spread the love around.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is just the absolute thickest Maximus team in the league, the Kansas City Thieves, ye of 3,000 TV still. In the AFC West, they need to finally make the playoffs. Their draft needs are a Minotaur and players with a winning mentality, because the Kansas City Thieves have never had a winning record. Not once.
I'd just like to point out, this team has cut 6 players due to injuries in 75 games.
Yeah. This team has health.
5 seasons, he's lost 6 players.
It is ridiculous. But they haven't won. And that's something that has to change. And so in the draft, you need to go for players who just come in with a winning mentality, that are used to winning in college, used to winning at life, and they can change the culture in the locker room. You think about bad franchises getting players early in the draft, like come in like, hey, Michael Jordan was like, hey, I'm going to win. Like, any player who's not here to win, get out. Michael Irvin, when he got to the Cowboys, the team sucked. He cried in the locker room, and players would go, it's okay, Mike, we're going to get a paycheck tomorrow. And so when the team started turning around, he said, okay, this guy needs to go, this guy needs to go, this guy needs to go. That's what Kansas City needs in the draft. So, pick number 9 in the main draft. They get a Blodge, stand firm guard, Minotaur. Second round, you get a diving tackle skill. I'm assuming it's going to be block. They did replace a -AV player who's claw bomb block tackle with that lineman at 43. So, -AV's big weakness. You replace him with, a very different player. And I will say that UTEP and Poly are solid programs in the big beast of the NCBB. But if you're going to draft players from the Big Beast, you should be drafting them from Cal and Fayetteville, teams that like win championships. No offense to UTEP and Poly, but they don't quite have the winning mentality that I was alluding to for Kansas City. So I still gave him a B+. That's a hell of a Minotaur. And he did replace a minus AB lineman. But I think he drafted players from the wrong school. So that's just a little quibble I have.
I gave it a C. He picked a Minotaur, enough said.
But it's packed.
It's... Why are people picking Minotaurs? Minotaurs are like the worst big guy.
I mean, that is not true.
Okay, which big guy is worse than a Minotaur?
Rat Ogre.
No, because Red Ogre's on teams which actually need strength.
No,
Not really.
no. I would much rather have a Minotaur on Pact than the Rat Ogre on Skaven.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
But Rat Ogre's faster.
Rat Ogre doesn't win you the game. He doesn't
Anyway,
do much for you.
there's also the point where it's like, I mean, I'm not sure the right way to try to play Pact in this league. But I like the Minotaur. I mean, if you're going to have a Minotaur, that's a pretty nice Minotaur because you can just put him somewhere and then he's just there. You're like, all right, cool.
You've got
And he's loaded
three block
with
bigs
guard.
on.
The second pick is weird, but it very much fits what he does here. You know, I mean, it's not.
I mean, yeah, it's Arcturus.
Yeah, I mean, a block tackle, diving tackle is interesting. You know, it's 3 skills. You're healing. I'm assuming he's taking block on the skill roll.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, I think it's a solid draft. I put it right as a B.
Okay. Well, the team he may have drafted that player specifically for is up next. And, I mean, it's not going to matter when they're Agility 6. But, you know, just the mere mortals among the Las Vegas Sinners may get tied up by that diving tackle. So, Doofer's Dark Elf team, they have 2 Agility 6 monsters still. It's been too long. They need to win the Super Bowl while those 2 players are alive. But he needs 2 blitzers, and he got exactly what he needed in the draft. Coca, I think, could have gone to several different teams ahead as a different pick. Mighty Blow Guard, Tackle, Pro, Dauntless, very good. You don't have Dodge if you can quibble with that. But second round, very late in the draft, Guard, stand firm on a blitzer. I love these picks. You know, team needed 2 blitzers. He got 2 blitzers.
Yeah, I give it an A as well. I think it's a really good pick.
I think his second round pick's an A.
Uh-oh.
I am not a big fan of the first round pick. Blitzers want 2 normals. They want dodge and sidestep. It has neither. I don't want Dauntless. I don't want Pro. I want one of Mighty Blow or Guard. Having both is a luxury. So, I mean, I still have it as a, I still have him as a B because he's a good player, and I definitely see why he went the route he did. But I just prefer.
I think it's the perfect blitzer to deal with the lizards in your division. It can hunt skinks. It can block a Saurus pretty reliably. I mean, you can do both pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like ones that
have dodge and sidestep.
That's fair.
But like, I mean, and it's just like okay, like objectively, like you're getting more than say Uber did with his Mighty Blow Tackle Guard Blitzer at 39.
Hmm.
But I'd rather the Mighty Blow Tackle Guard Blitzer is what it comes down to, because I just think those other 2 skills are not bringing as much value as they could.
That's fair. I did say that that player maybe had too many superfluous skills.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I have it as a B. So like, it's not that I think it's bad. It's just I don't. It's not the direction I would have gone on that play.
I'm rolling the papers with Baz saying this is the worst pick I have ever seen on the front page.
Fair enough. All right, so a team that also had a good draft, in my opinion, the Los Angeles Glams. That's Stims, high elf team from the NFC West, they still got like 2 to 3 like really good players, but they need a lot of help to make another Super Bowl run. 2 blitzers and 2 catchers, in fact, which is a lot in one draft and very similar to what MRT needed. But Stim, unlike MRT, did trade down once from 25 to 32, gets a very late pick, but ends up getting, a blitzer that I think you may prefer a little bit more to the one that we just talked about. Tackle, mighty blow, dodge, leap. And he likes leap on agility 4. I don't as much, but it works for him. Pale Dale, guard, mighty blow. And then, very late in the draft, block, diving tackle, sidestep as a catcher. It's not perfect, but again, late second round, you need a catcher, so A-.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
second. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was about to say is I think all 3 picks are absolutely perfect, with the only black dot being leap on the mighty blow tackle dodge blitzer. So I give it an A.
I think, he's had blitzers just like that before, though. Like, de Blasio's,
Yeah.
I think he's had 2 just agility 4 leap blitzers. He just seems to like it, and with the success he has, it works for him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, agility 4 leap can do well for sure. And that one, it has the dodge, tackle, mighty blow. It very clearly has its role. I don't mind the lack of sidestep as much because it doesn't have guard. So normally you're going to have that player screened off some until you want to strike with it. I think it's solid. At 32, it's not bad at all. Then, at 57 and 60, you're definitely happy with both those. I would have preferred the blitzer Doofer picked in the second round instead of the guard mighty blow one.
Mm-hmm.
But that might just be like, my elf experience is almost all dark elves. I haven't played high elf, so I have it as a B+. I think I like this one a little better than Doofer's.
That's
and
fair.
I do think you got 3 useful players out of it.
What was your grade, Asti?
8.
A. Okay. All right. So moving on, we're finally starting to speed through this a little bit, but I don't know if my opinion matters for jack shit with this team. I don't know anything about Old World Alliance, and I'm not sure after last season, Lorebass does either. I think he went like 1-3-8, and he did pull off a huge upset at the time. We thought against JR in week 3, where it was like shocking that he could beat those super orcs. And then a couple weeks later, we realized the orcs are still winless. But draft needs are replace the permed human blitzer, who was a draftee last season, and just simply to add more talent overall. I don't know how, why, when, and I don't know how you need to draft for this team. I don't know if it's possible to make them good, but Lorebass is going to try. And with pick number 3, the first graduating class ever from the Golden Gophorts takes an absolute stud, Paul Bunyan, plus agility, tackle, double MA, mighty blow as the blitzer to replace the perm one. Second round gets a Troll Slayer, so tackle, dodge, sidestep. He already has block and frenzy. 2 good players. I don't know if the team's going to do any better just because it's OWA, but I give him a B+.
A+.
Okay, I would have given him an A+ if he didn't pick that Troll Slayer.
But the Troll Slayer is great. I like that Troll Slayer. Troll Slayer.
It's so bad.
Is it?
What?
We have different opinions
on Troll Slayers, apparently.
What's good? But
how is it so good?
How is it
what?
Not? Block, step, and tackle. You need the tackle, unlike normal dwarves, because you're just not going to have that much. You have someone who can hold the sideline. The dodge sidestep's interesting. You can't really use the Troll Slayer in normal ways because it has loner. So you're a little more limited to using it as a main blitzer type.
Yeah, but you could have taken a dodge, guard, stand firm player instead.
For Lino?
What? No, for the Troll Slayer.
Yeah, you could. Which
Do you want guard on a Troll Slayer?
That would be fine as well, because you could always use more guard on this team, especially because you're not going to get it on the human blitzer. Because, I mean, that is his big issue. I see looking at the team. I mean, he's that. Oh yeah, because his ogre still doesn't have it yet either.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's sitting on 3, but like
Oh,
that, the first pick is just so fucking perfect.
yes, agreed.
Like,
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, it's
so
such a good player. I mean, I think, like last draft when we talked about what he was doing, and it was like, he was game winners out of the blitzer, and then he ended up with the Dodge sure hand sidestep tackle blitzer, and I was like, that does not feel like what I was seeing.
he was just
right here is like,
unobjectively tanking to get this guy.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this should be a wildly good player. I mean, it's a fucking gutter runner. With
Basically.
plus strength, block, tackle, and mighty blow.
Yeah, he fast.
It's I mean, he has that 5-edge thrower. He now has 2 credible receiving options, so he can play a different game.
So are we going to do an early prediction and say that he's going to double his win total from last season?
No.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that.
Okay.
I think he's going to perform about as well as he did last season, except he's not going to get a free win off of JR.
What is your final verdict, Nasty?
Oh, I gave it a B+.
B+, okay. And Baz, you said A+?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
What?
I mean, props to Lorbaz for trying. I apologize to Tusock for having probably like his best player his school will ever produce go to an Old World Alliance team, but I mean that's what happens sometimes.
Oh well.
All right, so the team that we thought might be our new Skaven overlords last season didn't quite get there, but the Miami Corona Blights, they're loaded. They're ready to win right now. They've got some super rats. They're in the AFC East. They need 1 gutter runner, and so Relb takes no gutter runner at all. In fact, with the 37th, that can't be right. 37? Is it 27?
27.
27. Okay, that's just typo.
Yeah.
So the 27th pick decides to take a rat ogre, albeit a pretty cool one. Block, tackle, guard, and then very late in the draft, just a block, kick, dodge, line rat. I hate the draft. C+. He needs a gutter runner. That's the only thing you need in this team. The rat ogre feels like a luxury, and it doesn't do anything against the likes of Chaos and I don't even know who else is in the division, Korn and whatever else. But it's a rat ogre. That's a lot of TV, and you need wizards. That's how your team wins with that super agility.
I don't know. I found you can win a lot of games with Skaven without wizards.
True.
I also found you can win a lot without rat ogres, though. So
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at that point in the draft, right? And it's like, okay, if he needs, like, he can't take a blitzer. If he needs a gutter, okay, what stat gutters do we have? We got the plus MA that Minnow took much later, but like with plus MA going away after this, do you really want to add a second one to your team?
I mean, I think the diving tackle AG guy that Gru took at 30, it's not a perfect
Yeah, that
gutter
one
runner.
would definitely have been on my radar because like you can afford the project on Skaven so easily. Like no one else needs the score. So I would have preferred that. I think that you may have been able to find an interesting lineman. I haven't like looked through the whole thing, or hell, you could have taken a thrower of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, like the one Jeffro took, I mean, it's not good, but like it would add a little bit to your quick score, which is already tough to deal with. I actually like a second round pick a lot, which he apparently did not like. Blodge kick, Skaven line rat, sign me up. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine, but still Skaven line rat.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like the rat ogre. I don't like tackle on the rat ogre. I mean, I know that like obviously you can only pick what's there. If you're gonna take a rat ogre, your choices were not great.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked a rat ogre, so I gave it a C.
Baz, what was yours?
C+.
C+. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's a good rat ogre, but it's a rat ogre, and I don't like you said. I don't think there were like the obvious gutter runner pick on the board. So maybe he was just like, screw it. I'll just have some fun for a couple of games while it lives. But moving forward, we've got another team that just, at this point, I think is here for the fun of it. And
Yeah, Brasky.
yeah, Brasky. So Brasky's cool. He's played so much Blood Bowl that it's ridiculous. And I mean, the season outlook, I just put meh because I can't remember the last time Nollins was relevant in this league, which is a shame. But he needs speed, agility, and better health. He's got so many perms on the team. He's got an ogre still that we absolutely hated, and he's got 4 normals at this point. He's got some weird dark elves and Skaven on the team, so I don't know what he's going for. I do love the player number 12. Like, that's a great player. Very, good on renegades because you got 2 skill rolls. The Wrestle Frenzy Lineman in the second, it's, I guess, something different. He did pass up stats on both picks, though. I mean, as much as I think Evan Boom Boom Bombs is a good player, and especially very open-ended with Human Renegade, but I eyeballed it the other day, and that was pick number 12. And, Menno took a block, sure hands, plus strength, sure feet, sidestep guy next. Probably, not what you would want. But maybe just the AG block guard guy that Baz took, or even the plus strength block tackle guy that Jeffro took at 18. I think those are, stats that you need. The second round, too, he picked at 44. And literally the player after is the one Menno took. Dodge plus MA block. And you could take that as a lino. Is that something you need? Maybe not, but all these teams that are movement 6 based, I mean, any extra movement is very nice. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I give him a C+.
I mean, it would have been your second fastest player. I mean, I kind of I like the double skill roll. I think the double skill roll is interesting. I think that, Pact are a team who gets so much out of their normals, and especially when they can't draft mutation normals, and the fact that you kind of want to stack mutations now because they're about to become doubles.
Mm-hmm.
But I could definitely see I think ideally he tries to drop back a few picks, but obviously he wasn't engaged enough that would be something that happened. But I think it's fine. And if he does, if either of those skill rolls end up being a stat, then he definitely came out ahead with Boom Boom over the other ones. So I can't, I don't really see an issue with that. So I'd have it as a B-.
B-, okay.
I'd have it as a C+ because I don't understand the Wrestle Frenzy at all.
Just something different, I guess. I don't know.
I gave it a C because Wrestle Frenzy? Really? You're gonna pick that over a block guard guy? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So moving forward, we've got a team that had a plan, posted a fluff article, kind of avoiding the pick I wanted to take, and so people would, not take it, hopefully. And it fell exactly to me, and then I traded down and let Baz take it instead. So that's the New York Croaks. That's my Slan team. Very close to making the playoffs in our first season. I miraculously didn't lose anything last season except the Crocs. So maybe replace the minus MA Blitzer, maybe add some speed. But I decided to trade down because about a day before I was, more or less projected to pick, we're kind of getting down to pick 15, 16, and I'm looking at the board and I'm wow, that player I want might fall to me. And then I was do I really want to replace this minus MA Blitzer with the exact same player? Does that really change anything for my team? And then after, talking with Baz about a trade down, I decided to move down and add a bunch of players to my team on a team that had 15 players already. And so now I don't have a lot of fodder to screen off my good players. I don't have a Crocsagore. My TV has gone up to 2,600 almost. And with 2 rookie elf teams that are going to have wizards against me, I'm not sure it's a good plan, but I'm going to try to make the playoffs this year. And I'm going to have as many good players to do it with as I need. So I gave myself a B+. Also, Nelfine hated all of my picks because he wanted every single one of them.
I disagree with you, XCon. I actually really like your picks. I gave you an A.
Okay. Baz, are you doing dishes back there? Or?
No, Baz just forgot to mute before he left to, I don't know.
What's up?
We could hear you in the background.
Yeah. Oh, oops.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
yeah.
Asti, you said an A.
Yeah, I gave you an A because I really
Aw.
like all of your picks, and
Thank
I
you.
think you just got to be careful of the double GFI foul.
Yeah, I mean that cost me a playoff spot, but
Happens.
Baz?
Yeah. I mean, I loved his trade for some reason. But no, I mean I think it's solid. I mean, the catcher you got to be real happy with.
Oh, I was eyeballing him like, I was like, please fall. No one take him because he's skilled.
The your first round pick's good. And now I just I don't know if getting the wrestle tackle line frog is worth the trade down. But
In hindsight, probably not, but
I mean, I'd probably put it as a B plus.
B plus. I mean, if that player that grew took at 30, I really didn't expect it to last me in the second round. But if I could have snagged that diving tackle plus AG guy and replaced my minus MA blitzer with it and just start fresh with the AG, A plus 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 draft. But that's not what happened. So took a wrestle tackle. I'm gonna have some elves to deal with. I've got 4 agility 4 guard. I've got 3 like agility 4 wrestle types to get the ball. So I'm going for it, man. The frogs are gonna make their move this season, or die trying. All right. So my counterpart in New York, the Rex, and 'twas not long ago where Robo was the Super Bowl champion, and then somehow just ends up 4th pick in the draft overall. Just, everything went wrong. So they're looking to reestablish themselves as an AFC power. They don't need a whole lot, though. I think they have, like, if you just took, like, the 8 best players from every roster, they might have, like, top 3 roster. So they need useful beastmen, maybe a Minotaur. I think Robo usually just rolls with a rookie and sees what happens until he dies. He said he tried to trade down from number 4, but didn't find any good offers, so ends up taking what I think most people would say is a reach. But block plus strength as a beastman, 23 SPPs. And then second round, plus AG, leap wrestle as a beastman. So you can quibble with the value, but he tried to trade down, didn't get an offer that he liked or no one wanted to, and so stop.
Yeah, I mean, there's quibble with value, and then you could have taken the exact. I mean, a block plus strength player that could be drafted as a beastman was taken 29th.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, where? 29.
Yeah, because beastmen are linemen too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
well, yeah, that's fair.
I'm just wondering, like,
well, who would
no one was willing. I mean, there wasn't any point. I guess if we're looking, like,
I mean, I guess my question is, why do you not take Knob Carson? I know he's basically Broadway Joe light, but is that not just a... Can you stop meowing? I'm sorry. Is that not something you add just because it's a really good player and having an extra...
Well, I mean, I think...
1 second.
I mean, Longhorn would be super interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, you really need to try to get trade down, and if he's saying he couldn't, just looking at how the draft broke, I mean, the Class traded up from 5. No, Wolves traded up from 5 to 2, but after that, I think Amon was at 16 and traded up.
Moved
and yeah,
up to
dropping
8.
from 4 to 16 doesn't sound fun.
No.
But it's a fine player. I mean, it's a good player. It's just,
No.
Okay, so the value is not
it's
bad.
hard to pass on these double stat guys to me.
But I guess when you're a team that doesn't need that, and you take a guy who's so malleable, like you slap either tackle or guard on him at 31, and I mean it's just a perfect player to slot into your team and go back to winning.
Well, I hope he's not taking tackle, because there was a plus strength tackle player that went 18th.
Well, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's, and like, yeah, Robo, unlike other people drafting this high, I mean, he obviously doesn't need the game winner on his team. He has that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I like both of his picks in a vacuum. I just don't like where the first one was made.
Mm-hmm.
but if he couldn't do anything about that, so it's just like, well, I still think there are better things out there that I would have liked to take a swing on, but
Mano
Not
thinks he was
gonna-
just trying to keep the TV down because he's already kind of a large team.
This is where I'll disagree with you guys.
Okay.
I love those picks.
Okay.
Now, think about it, right? You're a 2,700 chaos team.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the things you need. You pick 4th overall, and you take a naked lineman with block and plus strength. How can that not be the best player ever picked at that position, right? You have like all of the players you already need, and then you take a developmental player 4th. You're not trading down, you're not improving your team. You're picking a guy that you're like barely gonna field, and then what, you're gonna try and feed him touchdowns?
Wait, what?
Hmm?
Okay, why would he not be fielding this player?
He has like 17 dodge guards.
He does have a pretty good team still.
He has four one skill beastmen that will be on the bench.
Yes.
5. He has 5 one skill beastmen.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be fine. But anyway, I have it as a B because I like the players, but I don't like the value.
I have it as an F. I think that's like one of the worst picks I've seen this draft. Like, I just can't believe it.
All right. Well, Robo's gonna laugh at us as he just destroys everything again and gets back to his
Or
winning
picks
ways.
4th again, one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably no in between at all. All right. So next up is a team that I actually do a bad
Wolves. F. Just move on. I don't even want to
All
talk
right.
about it.
So the new Zigguratlan Chariots, that's Wolves' Chaos Dwarf team in the AFC East, and that's not an easy division to compete in. He's got the Rex that we just talked about, Miami that we talked about earlier, and then Jeffro. Traded up from number 5 to number 2 to take a Minotaur when he needs not one, but 2 Bull Centaurs. One of his Bull
he's got
Centaurs
2
is a rookie,
bulls.
and the other one's like block, break, tackle. And if you just want to take one and then, mold the block, break, tackle into whatever you want, stop fucking meowing. Oh my god. And he takes from Golden Go for its first graduating class ever, the Pillsbury Doughboy, a block, pro, dodge, break, tackle, guard Minotaur. Which is a great Minotaur, but it's A, a Minotaur, B, not what you need to do when you need 2 Bull Centaurs. I mean, I will preface this with saying that I am dog shit with Chaos Dwarves. I don't know how to play them. But when you need Bull Centaurs and you take a Minotaur, and I know Wolf said he plays them differently, he likes having the good Minotaur, and the Bull Centaurs for him are more mobile stopgaps and defensive pieces rather than they are game breakers. Like, I think he carries with the Hobbs more than he does the Bulls.
Carrying
But
with the Hobbs is I think it's
I don't think that's
in
how I play.
lots of matchups it's arguably better.
Yeah.
But just because you're doing things differently doesn't mean you're doing things better. I mean, I don't know how you look at how your half season went and look at how Dash's went and think I need a better Minotaur and not better Bull Centaurs.
Or just in general, why do you need a Minotaur?
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is like he had a Blodge guard stand from Juggernaut Minotaur that was minus MA. And now has a Blodge Pro Break Tackle Guard Minotaur that's 5 MA.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather still have his old Minotaur. Because
If
I think
you have a
Stand
good
Firm
Bull Centaur
is
with it too.
better than the dodge helps with the break tackle, but like I don't understand the trade up. I don't understand wanting a Minotaur. I don't understand picking that Minotaur.
Or trading up for the Minotaur.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, who was taking a Minotaur?
Nobody.
I mean,
Like,
maybe,
when did the next
Robo.
big guy go?
Maybe Robo. I mean, he went pretty. Oh, number 9 to KC. But you could have gotten
Yeah.
either one of these two at number 5.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I like the one that was picked at 9 better.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love the
Personally,
Pillsbury Doughboy.
but like, I mean, that's kind of a personal thing. I'd rather have stand from than break tackles, what it comes down to. But really, I don't know. He has had one Bull Centaur hit 3 skills, and it died at 36 SPP. And it's like, the conventional wisdom is you build around your Bull Centaurs for a reason. And I don't see a way this works out.
I mean,
Like, I'm just looking, and it's like, you could have taken Knob Carson as a Bull Centaur, or you could have taken the Bull Centaur Class took, or you could have taken what Robo took as a Bull Centaur. Probably not at 5, because
I think Knob's
Robo
not the
still
right
takes it. But
category for it, right? Yeah, Knob's line skilled, and Bull Centaurs are like Blitzer strength.
oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. But yeah, you
But
could have taken
there were other
the
options. There's the
what class
Blodge
took.
MA, Blodge MA guy, Dillinger.
Or you take
the one-
Longhorn.
Or Longhorn, yeah. Block double
Yeah.
AG at 48 SPPs. So,
I don't know. Or you trade up and you get real weird with it, and you take Paul Bunyan and just don't have block.
yeah, I mean, you could. I wouldn't like it. But,
But I think at a certain point you have to sit here and be like, I can't home develop my Bull Centaurs enough in this league to get them where they need to be. I don't know. I mean, I found when I was playing against him, the lack of threat from his Bull Centaurs was a big issue, and I don't see his team being any better now than it was before the draft.
maybe there's a player that's going to be in next year's draft that he's just kind of eyeballing. Maybe that's it. I mean, Joey Mendez, for example, the Super Bowl Centaur from Gallaudet. I mean, maybe if you somehow find yourself at the top of the draft again and get him, then all bets are off.
Yeah, but I mean, you could make a better pick now and still lose a lot of games.
All right. So what are your verdicts?
Oh, I have to think of a grade, don't I?
What?
Oh, I D-.
D minus.
you gave D- to a guy that traded up for
Just-
a Minotaur.
Then what did you give him?
Bro, F.
Okay.
See me after class.
I mean, a D minus is not that far away from an F, but all right.
D's make degrees.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so a team that had a very different draft. They not only did not trade up, not only did they trade down, they traded down twice. And that is Dutch Life's Tomb Kings, the No Cincinnati Bungles from the AFC North. And new franchise, Tomb Kings have had success in that division in the past. So they went down to 16 from number 8, and then down to 22 for number 16. So 7 picks in total, 3 in X-Pan, 4 total in main. He did have the first pick in X-Pan, but was it the right one? Poison Ivy is a throw raw. Is very good, but it's still a throw raw.
There isn't a discussion here. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm not good with Khemri. I think I may have wanted the best Tomb Guardian more, but that's a good throw raw.
No, I mean, look at the Tomb Guardians he ended up with. I mean,
Yeah.
he has 4 blocks. I don't love all of him. There's one in particular I don't like, but that isn't. I mean, that throw raw is a total game changer. I mean, that's a absolute game-winning quality player. I mean, 7 MA, 3 edge, 4 strength doesn't sound all that incredible, but it is when you're playing Khemri. I don't know. I mean, Pooj made the Super Bowl with Khemri.
Yeah.
And one of his things was, hey, you have to draft a plus edge throw raw. Like, you just need that. Plus edge, you want to carry your throw raw, and you want 4 block Tomb Guardians. That's the goal. And he got all of those. So
yeah, 4 block, 2 have guard, 2 have mighty blow, if I recall. Only 1 blitzer drafted with tackle, sidestep, frenzy, which is okay. You may have had different options. I think I also would have been tempted by Vin Riddick as a blitz raw. I mean, he's not perfect, But he's
No.
fast. He's
He
agile.
still would have been. He still would have. I mean, yes, Finn Riddick's good for sure. But like, are you carrying with him?
Maybe.
Okay, then
I mean,
you
he'd
can't
be
pick him.
an agility 4, right? I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
can't do that on
I don't know
Camry.
enough about Kemry.
I mean, you can. There's one of the highest scoring players ever. Maybe he was at one point the highest SPP player was a Emery Blitzrow that scored. But if I remember right, the team didn't win all that much. It's just
well, it is Kemry, but
it's weird because I mean Riddick's so good, but like you're basically giving up a plus edge to get it all on the player that you most want it on.
Mhm.
And I think that's the right call.
Yeah, I suppose we don't know if Dutch had offers to trade down in the X-Pan, but overall, I mean, you get the 4 block Tomb Guardians, like we said, 2 of Guard, 2 of Mighty Blow. You get the Throw Raw, who's going to be very good for you. You get 1 Blitzer. So I give him an A-. I mean, it's Kemry, but I think it's got a chance.
See, I give it an A. Basically, I love all the picks, including the Tackle Frenzy Sidestep Blitzra. I think that's very interesting. Though I dislike the second Throw Raw pick. I dislike it by a fair margin.
Oh yeah, he did take in a second Throw Raw on the X-Pan.
Yeah, the second throw was interesting, but I don't know that I dislike it that much just because I don't know what you take in pool 3. Just because you're not gonna take a Tomb Guardian that doesn't have block.
Yeah.
So those are all off the table because you're not taking a wrestle one. You're not going to be taking a blitzer there. There's just not anything good enough. So what you're taking a multi-skill skeleton?
Yeah, block guard skeleton.
I mean, that's not terrible. I guess my question is, would you rather? I mean, hindsight's 20/20, and so if you get that Throw Raw at the end, literally the last pick of X-Pan, like 3, and would you rather have Vin Riddick as your blitzer and just have a basic Blodge Step Throw Raw?
No, I like Ivy. I do. I think Ivy's the right call.
Okay.
I don't want to be taking my blitzer and not carrying.
Agreed.
And once again, I mean, the Blodge Step Throw Raw's fine. I mean, I like both dodge and sidestep on a Throw Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Take Finn's next, and you've got an annoying player. I think Finn's pretty key on Kimry Throw Raws and Blitz Raws anyway. I don't love the Tomb Guardians he actually took all the time.
Right.
I don't think you need tackle on them. You have 2. So like the one at 38, I mean, I'd rather just have gotten a block guard there if I could, which I could have.
Well,
But
I mean, he's 47, so he can grab guard next, for example, or Mighty Blow, or whatever you want.
yeah, but like, I don't know.
Dutch asking question.
You don't need kick.
Yeah,
you don't take it.
But yeah, so overall, I think it's good. I have it as an A- because, I mean, I'm looking and it's like, okay, his Tomb Guardians are just like all a little awkward for me. Fuller will be awesome once he gets, I'm assuming, stand firm at Legend. But then like you have the block guard Mighty Blow Frenzy. Well, that one needs stand firm next. You have the black grab tackle, which, I mean, I want guard, Mighty Blow, and stand firm again. So like, you can't fit all 3 now.
Not with that attitude.
But the tackle sidestep frenzy Blitz Raw is interesting. I'm assuming the other Blitz Raw has gone with guard. Mighty Blow. No, plus MA. Okay.
That's not bad.
So yeah, you're gonna have to pump MVPs into your blitzers as well, but that's fine because you don't need to on your skeletons at all, and your throwers don't need it. So overall, I think, I mean, as far as trading down goes, I think it makes sense for it just because they get a lot of value out of players that other teams don't necessarily want. So I think it worked.
All right, Asti, your official opinion?
Oh, I give it an A.
Hey, perfect. All right, so we'll see how the Khemri do. Next up is a new High Elf team where an old High Elf team used to be. So we'll see how Fool does as he joins the NBFL in Philadelphia with the Regal Eagles. So they don't want to be touched by the filthy poor people in their division, like the Croaks and the Dwarves and stuff. So I hated this draft so much because it was so good that I had to give it a JRPG grade because
Yes.
here we don't go above A. He gets an S minus, and the only reason it's an S minus is because his second pick in main. But let's just recap.
Yeah,
X-Fan
that's
1.6.
literally my thinking. It's a perfect draft. I gave it an A+.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
Peter Awesome Life, the exact build for a support blitzer.
Yeah.
The second blitzer, guard Mighty Blow Stand Firm with skill. Very good.
So
Third X-Pan, block guard lineman, 27 SPPs, just perfect value for what you want in third pool. And then the first pick in the main draft, Cinco de Mifflin, legendary player at Wisconsin in the NCBB. Block, leap, strength, tackle, strip ball, skill, probably dodge, I'm assuming. I guess we'll find out what he rolled. Great
LCG.
player. Oh, God, please don't. Eddie Kitchens is fine. I'm not sure you need him, but considering that was pick 40, and then right after that, at 46 is when Menno took the Lodge plus MA, who could be a skilled player as a catcher. I'd rather have that as a catcher than that lineman.
Yeah.
So if he had taken Dillinger instead with 42 SPPs and block or Blodge MA, would have literally been the perfect draft. Like absolute S grade.
I mean, this is a monster draft. Like, when we're talking about how much a draft can change, like how teams feel, this team went from a rookie high elf team to, oh shit, I actually need to pay attention to that team now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have it as an A. It's just a really good draft. Like, there's not a ton else to say that y'all haven't. He's also like, like that block guard in X-Man 3. I mean, it's an MVP away from having dodge.
Yeah.
The second pick, y'all mentioned. But Blodge step diving tackle. That's always good. That's definitely not bad. If I still would have, I would have preferred to grab the
catcher.
The catcher you mentioned, just because plus MA is plus MA, and I still can't believe that player lasted so long. But I can't really fault him. It's still a solid, functional player. Again, every skill on this team is useful. There's nothing I'm looking at I'd argue that 4 of these 5 players, you may have taken those exact skills, right? If you got the roles for them,
Yes.
in that order.
Yes.
The only ones being Cinco, where you would have had dodge on there at some point. But if you just get dodge or the skill roll, then he's in pretty much the same boat. It's the way I like to play elves. I don't love Cinco that much.
Right.
But he's still he's an amazing player, right? And he's great value, and the threat he can project is awesome. So definitely not disparaging it.
Although I guess not definitely was on the board technically, but that's not really what you need a high elf catcher to be, I suppose. Still, what was your official grade, Asti? Like A or A plus?
I gave it an A+.
A plus. Okay, so we're all in agreement that Fool, his team's got to die because I'm not dealing with that shit all season.
I'd say best draft.
Oh, by far.
Out of the league.
And there's other drafts that I liked a lot. Like I loved Wog's draft, but this draft was just, oof.
It's better.
Yeah. All right. So next up is Kazark and the Pittsburgh Steel Curs. That's his orc team, and just got brutalized.
Play the clip.
I should. I really should. We'll say that for another time. But the team got brutalized in the playoff game. He needs a Bob. He needs 2 blitzers. He still has Doug Netherland, who's agility 4, solid orc blitzer. And then he goes out and the first pick drafts a troll. And the second pick, which is a good one, takes a block guard, 26 SVP Black Orc, which he needed. But the troll is such a luxury pick. I don't know if there were like blitzers he just didn't want, but I know Baz didn't love Coca, who went at number 26, and Kazark picked number 23. So that was Mighty Blow Guard, Tackle Pro, Dauntless, which may not be how you want to build an Orc blitzer.
Yeah, I'd rather have the troll.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay. I have very strong opinions on how a Orc troll should go.
Mm-hmm.
He should stay at 16 SPPs and he should have guard stand firm.
And that's it, yeah.
Block's fine.
If you give me the option between block guard or guard stand firm, I'll take guard stand firm on an Orc troll at 16 SPPs. So a block tackle troll, I hate it. It's bloaty, and it doesn't have stand firm. C-.
Yeah, I don't think when you need 3 players, granted you got a very good, solid Black Orc late in the draft, but when you need 2 blitzers, I mean, even if you take just like a Mighty Blow tackle guy at 23, I don't know. I mean, love trolls.
I would have liked to see him maybe
Trade up? Trade down?
Yeah, or back. Either way. And kind of seeing what he could figure out. I don't love most of the options right where he's picking.
Yeah, that probably influenced it.
Like in the moment, I was like, you should maybe be taking a Black Orc, but then it's like obviously he got a Black Orc deep, so like that was the right call there. But yeah, I mean,
sad troll too,
it's
because you don't want tackle on it.
Yeah, but then you take stand firm at 51 and it's done. You don't have to think about it ever.
Yeah, but then because you have block tackle, you're gonna be blocking with it, and then it's gonna roll a 1, and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same as Rel. I mean, I don't like tackle on it. Is what it comes down to, right? Like I don't mind the troll if you turn tackle into stand firm. I quite like the troll.
Yeah,
but it's tackle. And I mean now obviously he's close to stand firm, but he's still going to be carrying that extra tackle, and it's like, how often is he going to get to use tackle?
I mean, he's playing Rats now, but he's also playing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but if your troll is runners, then you're probably winning anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
If
So
you're blitzing with your troll, you're probably losing.
You're blitzing. Well, let's say you like happen to mark the gutter runners with a troll. I mean,
What?
Maybe.
Why?
It's like the end of the turn. The troll just like does this little wobble over there and just puts tackle on him. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a 2+ to make it move.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway, the second pick I think is great, and
yeah, second pick's great.
I don't hate the idea of the troll. I just really don't like the tackle. So.
All right. So what are your final grades?
C-.
Okay, C- and Baz.
I'll gotta go C+ on this one.
C+. All right. So getting near the end, and this is the only F grade that I gave out, and it's just some people approach the draft and this league differently, and Nico is, he's one of a kind. His Necromantic Core, NFC West, they just keep doing their own thing. He's got 3 permed positionals, minus MA on both golems, and minus AV on a white. So what does he do? He takes 2 ghouls, one of which I hate, but one is a style that he wants a throwing ghoul, and he drafts one every year, and they always die. The second round ghoul, that's fine. Very solid ghoul, blocks your hands, sidestep with a skill. If you want to take that guy as a ghoul, that's fine. You need to replace one of those golems, because if they get knocked down, they can't move! They're literally moving 3!
You could have easily replaced both golems at both those picks. Again, the second pick, you could have just replaced one with a block guard and been happy. And then with the first pick, what is he, 15?
Yeah.
I don't know that I want frenzy on it, but that's like neck from pick. But
just
there's a block. There's options there that
yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me see it. Was there a strength player that I would have liked?
I mean,
Yes.
I don't really love the strength players at the pick he was at.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean I like the pick he made either. The trading back would have made a lot of sense. Or picking a
taking a
white,
white.
you could have got a pretty good blitzer.
Yeah.
I mean the tackle plus edge guard, Gark got.
Or no,
Replace-
the guy that Gark took it like what, 18? 16.
Yeah,
Literally
16.
the next
Then
pick.
the next pick.
Tackle AG guard. Slap that on the white that's permed. Your team's better.
Yeah, and just I don't know. I mean, your ghouls are like there's a reason you have new ghouls every season.
It's because we don't kill his werewolves. And
No, we do. We do.
Okay, sometimes. I mean, I get it. Like he's got like one like outstanding werewolf and one that's growing into something that's going to be fearsome.
Hey,
you want to win, so you want
hey.
players with skills. But those perms are just so debilitating.
I killed his wolf. He regened. That's not my fault.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, ghoul is it's fine, I guess. I'm fine with the second one. The
Yeah,
second one's fine. I mean,
hate
if
the
you
first one.
have a ghoul who can incredibly carry is good. It has a skill roll. We don't know what it's gotten. That thing rolls like plus ads. We're like, oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, now
But-
we're stupid. Yeah.
The first pick, it's really good at doing
Nothing.
things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, you have the block plus strength. On the other hand, you have the accurate safe throw. I have this as a D plus, and only because of how good the second pick or how functional the second pick is.
Mhm.
This is like the classic thing that gets me here, where like you look and you're just like drafting a stat, and it's like, okay, you're basically just paid what 90 TV for plus strength, maybe 110 TV for plus strength, maybe 100 TV because kickoff return is on a skill you're getting full value for. And if you're using the accurate and safe throw, then why do you have plus strength? I mean, you're literally taking the ball out of his hands.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate it.
Nico does his own thing, and interesting coach, interesting team, but just from the context of sanity, it just doesn't make sense.
He's had some really good seasons.
It's true.
I'd really like to see what he'd do if he just like replace his players that can actually survive with ones that aren't beat up.
Yeah. What was your final verdict, Asti?
Oh, D minus.
D minus. Okay, so all right, we're through that.
I have one comment about Nico,
Go ahead.
and I think that's something that the league overall isn't sure when they will qualify for extra draft picks from Arcane, and because it's not clear, a coach like Nico, I think, is expecting somebody to reach out to him and say, hey, you've got a bunch of perm players, you could get a draft pick if you just fired them all. But
I mean, he couldn't though.
no, and that's
Yeah, he
right, but
couldn't.
that's what I mean, but I think it's not clear.
There's
and
no
so I
like
think
guideline.
No, I mean, yeah, there was some misunderstanding
Right.
on where the line is.
Well, that's what I mean, and so I think because it's not clear, I think that's part of why some coaches, including Nico, are carrying perms when they really shouldn't be. And I mean, absolutely, they don't qualify, but I think it's part of it is that unclearness.
But you could also just replace them directly in the draft too.
Right, but because they think they're going to get it somewhere else, they're not going to do that. I mean,
But
I mean, by the time the draft starts, you're not that like you haven't. I don't know. I don't think that.
I mean,
I think that there aren't a lot of instances of people not replacing perms on their good players when they can.
absolutely. I saw a couple of coaches talking about it. I don't think it was one of them, so I thought I'd bring it up as a topic just for this.
I mean, it's a valid point. I don't think there's any official guideline posted anywhere like if your team is below X TV or has only 3 players above 51, you qualify for a pick or like
Exactly.
whatever the
There is-
guideline is.
I know there is a guideline that Arcane does have written. That's
Yeah.
it's been discussed. That was the only reason I brought it up. Was just this draft show. I think it's something worth talking about, and we've talked about it. I'm good.
Okay, well, something to think about. But we'll move. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, so Arcane did reach out to Nico. And all the details are there, but we can look at that another time. We got to move forward, and moving forward, we've got the Titan Sea Krakens, who are in just an awful division to be in. with a team that went to 3 straight Super Bowls, or 4, however many it was. They lost them all. A team that just went to the Super Bowl and won it, and a team that thinks they should win it every season. So it's not an easy division to be in. So he's got to shock the world and beat, quite the trio. He needs to replace one, if not both, permed Pestigors. One had minus AG and one had minus AV. He does replace one, and I think it was the plus strength minus AV, if I recall, with number 11 pick in the draft, Jalen Ostrowski. So block plus agility mighty blows a Pestigor. Solid, not quite complete as a player, but you slap tackle on him at 51, and you got rid of minus AV. You get some just random rotter in the second round. So I gave him a solid B for his effort.
Yeah, there's not a ton you can do with second round picks. With Nurgle.
Man, I completely disagree. He picked a rotter in round 2.
Wait, he doesn't need a bloater.
Okay, I have a question because this has been bothering me so long. Do you understand how the draft works?
Yes. He picked a rotter.
Okay, you can only pick players at positions you want to replace, and you can only pick what's on the board. So
Yes.
with him, and it's like, okay, maybe he replaces the minus Edge Pestigor. I don't know what was available. There's a good chance there was something he could have taken, but I don't think that you're dinging people a lot for drafting bad lineman types in the second round. And it's that's
the second round.
Okay, there's a difference to me between drafting a bad lineman type on a team which it makes sense in. Let's say you're playing Orcs, right? And you take, let's say, a block tackle lineman, right? Okay, fine. When you're playing Nurgle and you have clear needs, and you pick essentially a player which just tanks your TV for no reason.
Okay, I'll take a look at what was on the board. So 41, he needs another Pestigor. So, granted, there's that Blodge plus MA lineman we keep talking about, who's line skill blitz. Is there a blitzer that has block, for example? There's a block guard tackle that went at 52. There were some options if you did want to replace the other Pestigor. So, that's a valid concern. I don't think taking that rotter's a sin, but
Or just trade up. Worst case.
Yeah, but you can't. You might not be able to, right?
That's fair.
You can't just be I'm giving both my picks for a better one. You gotta have someone actually do it with you.
In hindsight, if GoTrek reached out to Robo, 4 to 11 is kind of a long drop. 7, 8 picks, but that may have worked out best for both teams. That's hindsight.
But anyway, I would have. I hate that he still has this minus edge Pestigor, mainly because I like that he still has this minus edge Pestigor. It's just it can just get marked out of the play so easily. It's one of he only has it's one of his 2 mobile blitzer types right now. Obviously, the plus edge is going to get there, but it doesn't have tackle yet. Which, considering his division, you really need tackle on your blitzer. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think he was kind of right at that inflection point in the draft where the super stud players were gone, right? But plus edge, block, mighty blow, solid.
I like his first pick.
And in the second pick, I'd have to look through, and maybe there's something that is a good replacement on that minus edge.
But he also, I think, is short mobile tackle, and that gives you tackle. And I used to run Nurgle all the time, and I would have rotters actually do things. So if you solid positioning, that's another Agi 3 tackle that the team has.
Yeah, it's not useless.
This man has 6 tackle already.
Well, he's playing Wood Elves and High Elves.
Yeah,
mobile tackles in his division.
Yeah, a lot of his tackle is on bloaters. I think all 4 bloaters have tackle for.
Oh, that's kind of.
Which is a different discussion, but it's. I think the player's fine, and the skill roll was a double, so
there you go.
Got guard.
All right. So what are we grading this out as?
I have it as a B minus. It's fine.
Okay, Asti.
C minus.
Well, all right. Well, maybe Mr. Jalen Otrowski will kill 2 of your players for your rude comments.
Hopefully.
All right, so almost at the finish. We've got
Yep.
another sneaky Skaven team with some schemes, I'm sure. And the man might be here to give us some thoughts on his draft, but I thought it was awful, if I'm being honest.
Same.
So, Archaeans, Warpstone Bay, Red Scallions. Now, I love the logo, and I pointed that out in chat earlier. That was great. Also, it was done by Uber. So, Uber, thanks for all your hard work on logos. You're very good at them. Draft picks. Matthew Pritchett, Navy. I mean, you're the second to last pick in Expand 1, so you get a really good Rat Ogre. I'm shocked that nobody in comp, and I know there was a lot of good players, but nobody took a skill / blitzer plus MA guard Mighty Blow tackle. I know like you want a Storm Vermin with claw and all this sexy stuff. That's a hell of a player, and I think I'd rather have that than the Rat Ogre, albeit a good Rat Ogre. Second round, you just snag the Gutter Runner with AG because it also had dodge, I think, or was it just straight up? No, it's just straight up AG. So you get Agility 5 Gutter, and then you get a dodge guard sidestep blitzer in Expand 3. In main draft, you get a wrestle tackle Mighty Blow Gutter Runner. And to be fair, I think if MRT didn't take that plus movement sprint Gutter Runner from Archaean's college school, he may have taken him there.
Well, there was the plus MA block dodge that went
Everybody
45, so.
passed, yeah. And then 53
I mean,
getting
I think clearly
fine.
I know that he had on his mind the fact that 10 MA is going away after this season.
True.
So, I mean, I do think for this season, having plus MA is very helpful, right? But building around a particular strategy that doesn't fully go away. I mean, the plus Edge will be a better one-turner in season 2 than the plus MA would be.
Yeah. To Nelfine's point about the AG being in pool 2 with just being one skill, I mean, it's a hard line to find where some of these players need to be in these pools. But if that player's in pool 3, that's literally the first pick. So it's probably too good to be in pool 3.
Line there is... I mean, the question, because I was the one who put that one. I mean, I was taking off guard. So normally we don't take players with only one skill. They have to have at least 2. But I was like, this one has plus Edge. So it was like, okay, and figure out where to put it. And I was like, normally, I mean, a plus Edge skill player has to go in pool 1, but you just can't do that with just one skill. So I feel like pool 2 is the right place for it.
Yeah, pool 2 was a good
and
spot.
That's not what I was questioning. What I was questioning is that other one skill players literally get a second skill added to them. You just don't have one skill players, right? Like the whole dirty player that I think was ridiculous should have stayed as a single skill dirty player, which is actually something helpful in the draft. And so for this one, we have one skill. I was just like, what?
Wait, who?
But it's the right place for.
It's because a one skill dirty. I mean, the thought process is in that case with the dirty player is that every single team except yours can just build that dirty player with his 6.
Yeah.
So having it in the draft doesn't do anything. I understand that, from where you are.
No, I understand. It's totally fine. It was just something that threw me off.
But anyway, that also is. Yeah, I mean, normally with expansion players, that player would just retire. Like they wouldn't even try to stick around. So expansion players, I don't think we've had a single other one skill player in the comp draft at any point. Mm-hmm. So this was just kind of a unique situation. As far as the draft goes, I mean, he knows how I feel about the Rat Ogre. It's not the direction I would have gone. I mean, the plus strength Mighty Blow Blitzer that went the next pick to Gark just seems like a layup.
Storm Vermin, yeah.
I think that, the plus Edge, block, sidestep, sure hands, fend, skilled player would be awesome. I mean, the plus Edge, plus MA, plus strength, block, dodge, line rat would be hilarious.
I literally really thought about that.
I wanted that player as an elf on one of these teams so bad. That is such a good player. It's basically Broadway Joe as an elf.
Yeah. I mean, it's again like there's two positions that you may. I mean, you kind of have to decide if you want a thrower or a rat ogre. And if you're gonna have a rat ogre, you probably want a good one, right? Like he has a good rat ogre. Like if you're gonna have one, and looking at his team, I mean, he's still gonna come in cheap as hell.
Oh,
because
super cheap.
So I mean, he's. I think he's gonna have the second lowest TV in the league. Only Pooch is lower. So it's not like he's going to be depriving himself of wizards. Although if he just fired this rat ogre, he'd be coming in around where I did back in the day.
Here's the thing. The board's different, and people have the style of team they want in mind differently than others. But when Rel drafted his Skaven team and got like the agility 6 gutter and agility 5 gutter and the plus strength agility storm vermin in his draft, if I recall.
Yep.
Like, just those 3 players by themselves is better than Arcanion's entire draft.
Agreed.
That may
like,
not have been like an option for him because he was picking much later in main than I think Rel was. But I don't see it with this team. I don't think it can be competitive early.
In any case, I give him a D overall.
Brassy's going to eat that rat ogre. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, breaking down the actual picks, the Wrestle Tackle Mighty Blow is the one that because the Rat Ogre, I don't like having the Rat Ogre. But again, if you're gonna have a Rat Ogre, then okay, that's a game-changing Rat Ogre. Like he's gonna carry his weight just because that's a pretty damn good player. I mean, 7 MA, 6 strength, block guard is something that people have to worry about. The plus edge gutter, high potential. The Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer in the second pick round 2. I mean, yeah, that's a great late second pick. The Dodge Guard Sidestep Blitzer. If you're gonna have a Rat Ogre, I think having a support Blitzer makes more sense. So I can be okay with this, especially when you got the other good Blitzer. But the Wrestle Tackle Mighty Blow, I just kind of want to fire right now.
Yeah.
Now,
but hey, Leaping Dagger.
He's going to go Skink Hunting, I imagine. But
I mean, I know why it's there. It's just personally, I just can't get on board with that one. I mean, the player Nelfing took the block, sidestep, sure feet, diving catch plus add. Who I think just would be better. Yeah, you have a dead skill, but everything else there's good and works together.
I mean, Malcolm makes the point. You get horns on him, and he's interesting. The real question is, and we're going to move on after this one. If he doubles at 76, do you take claw or tentacles? Because I would love tentacles on that thing.
Tens.
Yeah, you take 10s. Not even close.
All right. What was your official verdict, Baz?
I'm gonna go with the D+ as well.
D+. Okay. So we've got 2 teams left. One more rookie team, and unfortunately Gark had the last pick of Pool 1 in X-Pan, but that also means he had the first pick in the next 2 rounds. So, like you said, the plus strength Mighty Blow guy at the end of Pool 1, that's a hell of a ward answer. And then the first pick, Block Guard plus MA in Pool 2. First pick of Pool 3, Block Guard Sidestep. And then trades up in main draft from 22 to 16 and takes Tackle plus AG Guard as his other ward answer. So it's a small team. TV is going to be low, but you got your plus strength. I'm assuming you're getting Tackle next at 31. You've got your Leaping Guard on the ward answer. You've got 2 more guard on catchers. I mean, it's a small team, but I give it an A because it's so perfect.
A+.
Yeah. So my main issue is I don't like guard on ward answers.
Right.
What?
Which, obviously.
But the
AG ward answers?
I think he doesn't want guard on it. But I mean, as a tag team, though.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Tag team.
I'm just saying, that's not. There's a reason why I drafted the block plus edge guard as a catcher, not as a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Is all I'm saying. That's just where my preference goes. Is guard. I mean, guards for your support players, and that's what catchers are. And I would advise Nelfine to go and play 50 games of Wood Elves and Skaven and get back to me.
Nelfie, one of my favorite skinks of all time in the NCBB, he rolled doubles, so I took sure hands.
I can't.
He rolled doubles again, so I took block. He rolled doubles a third time, so I took guard, and he had sidestep somewhere along the way. It was a very fun player, and it did save me one time on a leap attempt. I think OTS leapt in there and went for a sack on a Saurus who had the ball, because that's how you play lizards. And he didn't notice the guard on the skink, and he went, "Oh, it's a -2 die." I said, "Yeah, baby."
Anyway, I'm just giving Nelfine a hard time. Like, I used to never understand why people took guard on gutter runners when there's like so many cool doubles. And then I drafted that one in NCBB in the NBFL draft, going in my second season, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Yeah.
Just because you don't use it at all like you do guard on other teams, but I think I found it worked really well together. And so I like the picks he has. The plus strength mighty blow is awesome. The 2 guard catchers is awesome. One of them being plus MA is, again, like, that's great. The second war dancer is really good. And Gark likes plus edge likes guard on a war dancer more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And like, guard wouldn't have kept me from taking it. And the tackle plus edge guard would have been horrible as a catcher, but I mean, I think it's
you took elite tackle guard plus EG catcher in the first pick of your X-Band draft.
But X-Band draft was really shallow.
Like, go look back at what I just want to point out to everyone who drafted a team this season. You're welcome.
Oh
that
my God.
XCon and Asti all ate that horrible last time.
I don't know. It got me the Defensive Player of the Year, Dwight Stevenson.
All right, that's a valid point. The first pick of X-Band last season was a very solid, like, Blodge plus AG guard line frog. The third pick this season was Vin fucking Riddick. Like, oh my god, the difference is night and day. Like,
A plus all the way.
A plus, I get it. As we talked about, there was a undrafted plus AG plus MA plus strength Blodge lineman in the X-Band pool, and there's like 4 players with double stats and like 3 more or 5 more with just like single stats that are left undrafted. It was ridiculous this season.
Yep. The thing is, I knew this when I decided to change, that I could wait a season and it probably would have been better, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think our seasons went okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do think that I mean, I have Gark at an A-. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's like, I don't know that the we'll see how the trade up works. I mean, is in a situation where if he loses 2 draft picks,
oh boy,
he also does not have much to work with.
Then he has your team.
Doable.
I mean, I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not. You have a war dancer and maybe a catcher, like pre-draft, and that was it at the end of last season.
Yeah.
And in the middle, he had a block guard Lino. Let's not forget that.
Okay. All right, so we've got one last team, and alphabetically, this is not where they go, but I don't know the new name of Amon's team because I know he's moving to San Diego, but San Diego's also in Los Angeles now in the NBFL, so I don't know, or sorry, the NFL. So I don't know where he's going. I don't know what the team name's going to be. He still has it named as Hot Arizona Sticky. But regardless, he's still Nurgle. He's now in the AFC West. Hopefully a new home, a new you, because that was a tough division to be in, so maybe he'll find more success in his new home. He needs 1 bloater. There is another bloater that's permed, and there's a rot spawn that's like 3 or 4 normal skills, and so that's something you can upgrade on. So he traded up from 16 to number 8 to take one of his former college players, which I think he mentioned he was like eyeballing last season, but he wasn't in the draft. So block, mighty blow, tackle, and 2 skill rolls as a bloater. He had 1 real big need, moved up and got it, and that's a great player. It could be a super great player if those skill rolls pop. So, you know, I gave him an A+.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty clear A. Like, you know, actually, I'm going to move it up to an A+, just because we don't need to hear Asti whine about someone taking a Rodder with the 49th pick in the draft.
Correct.
So thank you, Amon, for saving us from listening to that again. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. I don't love tackle bloaters all that much, but considering you're dealing with both Doofus Dark Elves and then Jamon's Lizards that also end up having a bunch of dodge on their Saurus.
Yeah.
You definitely gonna get value out of it. 2 skill rolls is great. I mean, if you hit plus strength, you're happy. But even if not, just like take guard and stand firm, or take claw if that's what you want. I'd take guard, stand firm.
Tentacles.
Okay. He's gonna take claw.
But I mean, in your division, you can kind of get away going any direction because you have 2 teams that have made the playoffs back-to-back seasons, and one's Lizards and one's Dark Elves. So, you kind of need to play against both. But I like it. I think it's good. I think that's probably. I mean, that might be
Yes.
That might be the second best trade as far as value.
Okay.
I think Plaid's trading back was massive as far as value as well. I think those 2 are the ones that clearly ended up being home runs for the person trading.
Mm-hmm. So, Asti, what was your final grade on this one?
Oh, Baz?
No, you.
Oh, I gave it an A- purely because I would have liked to pick 2 bloaters, replace the AV busted one.
That's a fair concern.
Sorry, the niggled one. Same thing.
All right, so that should be it for our draft recap, aka the slanderous review, or whatever we decided to call it. We had a lot of discussions, and there's a lot of different opinions on some of these players.
Yep.
It's up to every coach to go out there, roll the dice, and prove us right or prove us wrong. And I'm excited for this season. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me, Baz, Asti, and there was quite a few of you listening. So, best of luck to everybody. And do we have a start date in mind?
Well, it depends when everyone gets their teams ready.
That depends on how fast you can give them their skills, Baz.
It looks like he did most of that today.
I've done everything that has been posted in the sheet. I'm waiting on another, I think, 10. But we'll get that cleaned up, and as soon as we're ready to go, we'll probably kick off. So the official start is February 3rd, but I'm hoping we can get started a week early, maybe on Wednesday,
Okay.
All right.
Thursday, somewhere around there.
Oh no! Now I have to type up a preview.
Oops.
So
I'm about to post these full draft grades in the forum, but now I got to go and do a season preview and do some more predictions.
Yeah, I mean, don't we have to sit down and do another talk through for all the divisions?
It's going to be shorter though, because we've already talked about these teams at length. So
yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be in short, man.
it's 2 hours and 40 minutes for this video. So yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, let's try to get these built, and we can always kick it off, and then I can finish building a few teams after if not, but we'll get this done.
Yes,
But the first week's going to be 2 rounds anyway, so the first deadline will be February 10th.
Okay.
No matter what we start. Okay.
You're going to have time. If we start early, we're not pushing up deadlines. It just means
Yeah, we just have more time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for doing this with me, and I wish you all a happy Christmas.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We will catch you pretty soon, it sounds like.